chicks. Back to the street. Back to the street. Back to the street.
And we are live. Yo, this is Set with Set Media, guys, and I'm back with another one for you. All right, guys, we're about to get into Trump's bilateral meeting, and then we're going to do a media analysis because there's been some updates with Russia sanctions, and then, of course, well, honestly, updates across the board, including with ICE. But all right, guys, let's get right into it. Let's not forget to double tap that screen and like the video.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to have a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine. We've become friends, actually, through the trials and tribulations of everything. Mark Rutte, Secretary General of Nato, highly respected. Every country, almost every country in Europe. I think you can almost take away the almost pretty soon. But they all have great respect for the leader, and he is the leader. And we've had some very good discussions today, and things are going along pretty well as regarding Ukraine, Russia. We thought it would be a little bit easier. That's turned out to be tougher than the Middle East. The Middle East was supposed to be the tough one, and we've solved that puzzle. But this one will get solved also. So I want to.
And that's and the reason why is because we can't really stop Russia because they have dominating force on the battlefield. Yes, they have over dominating force, and the only way we can really stop them is to try to cripple their economy. I mean, we put sanctions on their oil finally. So, we'll see where that goes.
I just say it's an honor to have you, Mark. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for hosting again. And we were texting, I think it was on the day when you were in Israel and in Egypt, this tremendous success you had under your leadership, bringing peace to the Middle East.
Thank you.
And then we texted each other and said, and the next big thing has to be Ukraine, Russia. And I want to help, NATO wants to help, my colleagues want to help to basically deliver on your vision of peace in Ukraine. And I really want to thank you for everything you're doing, including breaking the deadlock with Putin, starting the dialogue in February when you came in as president in January, but also for everything you did with NATO, the fact that we are now at this 5%, the huge success in The Hague at the NATO summit, the fact that Europeans are also stepping up when it comes to Ukraine, basically the weapons from the US being delivered to Ukraine, paid for by allies, and the Europeans coming together to discuss how can we sustain Ukraine post the peace deal. All of this is evidence of your leadership of pushing the Europeans and the Canadians to do more, to deliver, and to equalize in spending with the US. So on all of this, and today we will talk more on how we can really bring Ukraine to the
and not only has Trump been able to bring most of these NATO countries up to that 2%, really it's like 2.1% of of GDP spending on military, but he's also got them to agree to increase their military spending to 5% and buy all of their military weaponry from the United States. So not only are they, protecting themselves, but they're making us money.
Next phase and get this terrible war, and all the
Raytheon money.
And as you know, we are going to be making a big trip next week. Some of you are going with us. We'll be going to Malaysia, South Korea, and Japan. In South Korea, I'll be meeting with President Xi of China. We'll have a pretty long meeting scheduled. We can work out a lot of our questions and our doubts and our tremendous assets together. So we look forward to that. I think something will work out. We have a very good relationship, but that'll be a big one. We canceled the meeting with President Putin.
And we'll get into, hopefully we can get into it this live. But yes, it does seem like the president of China may be out of power. I mean, I heard that he had a stroke and one of the generals is now in power. And they're pretty much cutting off all of his, loyalists.
It didn't feel right to me. It didn't feel like we were going to get to the place we have to get, so I canceled it. But we'll do it in the future. But next week we'll be with many of you in those locations that I told you. Then it's back to Washington. So thank you very much, everybody. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, can you tell us a little bit about why you're elevating sanctions against Russia right now?
I just felt it was time. We've waited a long time. I thought that we'd go long before the Middle East. And Mark, as you know, we did the Middle East +7. So we did 7 different wars from Pakistan and India to so many.
Azerbaijan, Armenia.
Which they said was impossible to do. All these wars I did, and the one that we have left, we have one left. It'll be 9. We have one left, and I think we'll get that done too. I think we're on our way to getting it done.
We have to.
And it does seem like the goal of the Trump administration is not really to get too directly involved in war, but, I mean, we're okay with sending weapons there, but also to pretty much, I would say this, we're not really trying to put boots on the ground. Instead of putting boots on the ground, we'd rather just play with their economy. So, put tariffs on their imports, sanctions on them, anything to crush their economy instead of putting boots on the ground. I mean, if you crush their economy, what money are they going to have for war? So it's actually a really good strategy. And that's how we kind of got Thailand and Cambodia, Pakistan and India, by pretty much threatening their economies.
Mr. President, do you have a timeline for when you think the story is going to be over because of your leadership?
No, I don't have a timeline. You can't have in war. It's hard to have a timeline. So many things happen in war. Go ahead.
What about Tomahawk missiles? Putin is definitely
Well,
afraid
the
of
problem with the Tomahawk that a lot of people don't know, it'll take a minimum of 6 months, usually a year, to learn how to use them. They're highly complex. So the only way a Tomahawk is going to be shot is if we shot it, and we're not going to do that.
Oof.
But there is a tremendous learning curve with the Tomahawk. It's a very powerful weapon, very accurate weapon, and maybe that's what makes it so complex.
Yeah, so I guess we're not going to be giving, most likely, we're not going to be giving Ukraine Tomahawk missiles. One, because the learning curve, you got to learn how to use it. And I mean, 9 times out of 10, we'll be the one firing it. We'll be direct involvement. And we're not trying to do that.
But it will take a year. It takes a year of intense training to learn how to use it. And we know how to use it, and we're not going to be teaching other people. It's too far out into the future.
Yes, Mr. President.
Yes, please.
I saw, Mr. President, that you said as recently as yesterday that you still believe that Putin wants to end the war.
Yeah,
Then today
I do.
You took this step to ratchet the sanctions and put more
Yeah.
pressure on him. What else are you going to do to encourage him to get there, or can you explain why you do believe he wants peace?
Yeah, it's a good question. Today is a very big day in terms of what we're doing. Look, these are tremendous sanctions. These are very big. Those are against their 2 big oil companies. And we hope that they won't be on for long. We hope that the war will be settled. We just answered having to do with the various forms of missiles and everything else that we're looking at, but we don't think that's going to be necessary. We would like to see them just take the line that has been formed over quite a long period of time and go and let's go home. Last week they had.
Now, the problem with these sanctions is that, sadly, Russia's already been dealing in oil in different currencies, but they still predominantly use the dollar. I mean, they've been dealing with the Chinese yuan and all that good stuff, but they still use the dollar. So there's still some workaround for them, but this is a major blow, and it's hitting them in one of their major sectors, which is energy. I mean, trust me, everybody hates Russia, but they love to use their energy.
Almost 8,000 soldiers
that oil,
killed.
huh?
Many Russians were killed last week. Many Ukrainians were killed last week. We think it's ridiculous, and would like to have it end.
Why do you think he wants peace, though? Why do you still believe that?
I think they want peace. I think they both want peace at this point. It's been, it's almost 4 years. You're going into 4 years. And if I were president, it never would have started. But yeah, it's time.
Mr. President, on the shutdown, will you do plan to meet with Democrats before you head to Asia? And if not, why not meet with Democrats?
Well, I think it's a shame that it's shut down because we have the greatest economy, as you were saying before. We have the greatest economy in the world right now, by far, the United States. We have almost 18, now it was 17, now it's $18 trillion being poured into our country, and it's no time for shutdowns. I don't think it's affecting what we're doing, but it's too bad for a lot of people. We have a lot of good people that aren't working right now that should be, and it's because...
And a lot of this investment, well, I believe the 18 trillion he's talking about is from investment in American energy and, of course, reshoring manufacturing back to America. Those are the main investments that are coming back here. You know, like I say, give it about 2 years.
The Democrats want to try and renegotiate a deal that they had negotiated. They want $1.5 trillion given to illegal immigrants who came into the country, and it's going to hurt the health care of citizens of our country that have been paying into it, that have been working hard for it, that really deserve it. So we're never going to do that. It's not going to happen. And I will tell you, there are a lot of good Democrats that really want to make a deal. And I think all we need is 5 Democrats because we have a great support on the Republican side. So I think we need 5 Democrats, and there are a lot of them that want to make.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest lie about the Schumer shutdown. I mean, well, it's not even a lie. It's a crazy deflection. When they say, well, Republicans control the House and the Senate. No, we have majority control, majority rule. We don't have full control. We have a majority rule. So that means we still need some of these Dems to get about their feelings and vote on this bill. Stop with the Trump derangement syndrome and pass this clean CR bill. And if you guys want to debate about health care later on, please do so. We're all for it, but you don't got to shut the government down for it.
Good deal. So I think at some point, common sense will prevail. Yeah, go ahead. You can finish up.
On the drug vote strike, the Eastern Pacific.
Yeah.
Can you explain to us what that was about, how it was conducted?
Yeah, sure. Well, they had one today in the Pacific, and the way I look at it, every time I look, because it is violent. And it is it's amazing that the weaponry, that everyone, you know, they have these boats that go 45, 50 miles an hour in the water. And when you look at the accuracy and the power, look, we have the greatest military in the world. We have the greatest weapons in the world. And you see a little bit of it there. One shot, everyone dead center. And the only way you can't feel bad about it.
Oh, guys, do me a favor and double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Let's get more people on the conversation by double tapping that screen. Appreciate the support, guys.
As you realize that you won't feel badly about it, is you realize that every time you see that happen, you're saving 25,000 American lives. Every one of those boats that gets knocked out is saving 25,000 American lives, not to mention the torn up families all over the country. And whenever I see that, I say to myself, I just saved 25,000 lives. I will say that there are very few boats traveling on the water right now. Actually, that includes fishing boats.
No, and the liberals, well, the Dems got their panties in a twist because, oh, these are unconstitutional strikes. The president can't do this. Yes, he can. Yes, he can. And y'all should have paid attention because when he designated the cartels as terrorist organizations, yeah, he has not a free will to strike these guys at will, just like he did the Houthis out there in Yemen, and nobody said anything about that. So, hey, it is what it is. Now, of course, he can't go too far. He does have limits in what he can do without Congress, but he does have he can strike these terrorists with no approval from Congress. Because, like I say, he's going after a terrorist group and not a country. You never know. He might be going out actually trying to go after Venezuela. We never know. Everybody is getting a bit fearful in our actions around them because it does look like we might be getting into direct conflict with them. Now, I'm highly unlikely. I doubt Venezuela want it like that, but we'll see.
Any other kind of boat.
As
but there are
time
very
goes
few
on.
boats traveling on the water. So now they'll come in by land to a lesser extent, and they will be hit on land also.
And that might be the problem. Striking them on land, which means striking them on, let's be real, in other countries. Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be a tough one.
Go ahead, in the back, please.
Do you have legal authority if they do come?
Yes, we do. We have legal authority, right? We're allowed to do that. And if we do by land, we may go back to Congress. But
yeah,
we have this.
Thank you. I'm about to say, like, I ain't gonna lie. You're gonna have to go back to Congress to strike them on land because at that point you're hitting a country on their land. not the people, but you're trying to get the cartel. And we get that. You're trying to get the terrorist organization. But this ain't the Middle East, man. This is Latin America. Of course, Congress is going to stay quiet when you bomb people out there in the Middle East. Surprise, surprise. But when you do it in Latin America, now they got something to say about it.
This is a national security problem. They killed 300,000 people last year. These drugs coming in. They killed 300,000 Americans last year, and that gives you legal authority. We have a national security, really, I will say this. When you look at the people we're dealing with, and we know them, we know the people coming in, we know the boats, we know everything else. We're allowed to do it. It's in international waters. If we don't do it, we're going to lose hundreds of thousands of people. Now, they'll be coming in by land a little bit more because they're not coming in by boat anymore. There are no boats in the water. There are no more boats. We know the boat almost immediately. You know, it's pretty unusual when you see somebody with a fishing rod and 5 engines on the back of the boat. You know, you don't need that to go fishing. Wait. And we will hit them very hard when they come in by land. And they haven't experienced that yet, but now we're totally prepared to do that. We'll probably go back to Congress and explain exactly what we're doing when we come to the land. We don't have to do that, but I think, Marco, I'd like to do that. You may respond to that if you want.
Yeah, well, I mean, the question is, bottom line, these are drug boats. If people want to stop seeing drug boats blow up, stop sending drugs to the United States.
Does it matter if it's in the United States?
Well, these are all in international waters. The boat.
Can you do a strike in the United States, or if we're
Well, that's a different matter. Now you're talking about a law enforcement matter. In this particular case, there are people traveling on international waters headed towards the United States with hostilities in mind.
And people are wondering, like, how are they getting this information? That's a good question, to be quite honest with you. And in my belief, they're getting it from the CIA that's been exposed to be operating in Venezuela. I mean, you can look this up. CIA operating in Venezuela. So who you think is giving us the intel on these speedboats? Like, let's just use, common sense.
Which includes flooding our country with dangerous, deadly drugs. And they're going to be stopped. And that's what's happening. And in the case last week, you saw there was a submarine. It was a submarine. It was a submersible. That's a drug boat all the way through. We know what these boats are. The president just said it. We tracked them from the very beginning. We know who's on.
Yeah, we know what these boats are. We know who's on the boats. Why? Because we got the CIA over there. I mean, the CIA, they're pretty good. I mean, of course, they work against us sometimes, but, when they're working against other people, they still do their job pretty well.
Who they are, where they're coming
from. As far as intelligence goes.
If you're running drug boats, you're in grave danger.
And drug usage is way down, and drug usage coming from the sea, they call it ocean drugs, a little term that they use, the ocean drugs, is very close to non-existent right now. I wouldn't want to be in one of those boats heading away, they're driving happily to destroy the lives of people, and they end up, that's the end of them. So the ocean drugs and the sea drugs, drugs by sea they call it also, that's almost down to nothing, as you can imagine. So they continue to come in by land at a little bit less because they see something is going to happen. They don't like it. They see something, and they're right, something very serious is going to happen. The equivalent of what's happening by sea. And we're going to Congress just to tell them what we're doing, just to keep them informed. We have to do it for national security. We have to do it to save lives.
Secretary Bessent said that Vladimir Putin had not been honest and forthright in his talks with you. Just wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about your feelings about that, and also my mate Munir Rutte, just your thoughts on whether Ukraine should get tomahawks. Thank you.
Well, I think that in terms of honesty, the only thing I can say is every time I speak with Vladimir, I have good conversations, and then they don't go anywhere. They just don't go anywhere. So in that sense, but
actually, Trump needs to stop talking to Putin, bro. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Why? Because every time this man talks to Putin, Putin ups the amount of strikes he starts unleashing on Ukraine. Like every single time Trump has called this man, he's like, you know what? Send 700 missiles to Ukraine. Trump calls again, send 900. It's like, all right, at a certain point, you're right. You can't really take this man seriously. So that's why we're putting the economic squeeze on him.
Now, look, he's fighting a war. He's in a war. That's two very competent sides, and that's the way war is. You never know with war, but I would say that it's time to make a deal. A lot of people are dying. They're not Americans, but they're people, they're souls. And they're dying by the thousands, worst since World War II. and we really should stop it.
And to your other question,
Yes. Yeah, please.
Sorry, to your other question, this has been consistent from this president.
Oh, guys, and let's not forget to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Let's get more people in the conversation by double tapping that screen. Appreciate the support, guys.
When we first met.
Oh, if you have any question, comments, jokes, or disagreements, I'll be happy to read it out loud and engage with it. Just $2 and up. Appreciate the support.
To your other question, this has been consistent from this president when we first met again after your re-election in Mar-a-Lago in November. You said we have to stop the killing. This is close to your heart, and this is your vision. That's why this war needs to end. When it comes to tomahawks or whatever system, it's up to individual nations to decide whatever they want to supply to Ukraine. NATO doesn't take a position, but I can assure you this. When the president called me in July and said we want to again send weapons into Ukraine, paid for by our allies, the Canadians and the Europeans, that was an important moment. And that is now taking place, and the ambassador, myself, we're working hard at this. Already a couple of $1 billion of weaponry into Ukraine from the US, paid for by allies. So I'm not going to comment on about the tomahawks, but when it comes to the US and all the support for Ukraine, it is there and it is close to the president's heart, and I know this.
I will say this, and you know, Mark can say it better than anybody. The European nations and Canada have really.
So yeah, so pretty much there's going to be really no tomahawks because one, America would have to fire them. Two, is there not enough time to teach the Ukrainians to fire them? The learning curve is like, it's not enough time. It's too great. So yeah. And then of course there's three, that it could just escalate things between, you know, Ukraine and Russia. And I mean, Russia could just start unleashing missiles like crazy. Right now, they've kind of been meeting each other with drone warfare, but Russia has the advantage because they got missiles. And that's what, you know, Zelensky was saying. I think it was on Fox News when he was saying that, yo, we need missiles, just like Russia, because we got drones and Russia got drones, but Russia got missiles and we don't got missiles. So, you know, shout out to Zelensky for snitching on himself on how bad he's doing on the battlefield.
Pulled together, and it's beyond even
that. I appreciate
that. It's really beyond that.
I was with the Australians and New Zealanders, Japan, they're all.
If you want to really add them up, we could really add them up. But NATO, basically, European and Canada, and a lot of other nations, they've really band together. They are not happy about what's happening with Russia and Ukraine. They're not happy at all. Neither am I.
Mr. President.
Jeff?
Sir, just changing this topic slightly, I see you've got the
model
of the White House and the ballroom. Many people were surprised the entire East Wing is being demolished because you had said initially that the ballroom would just touch or would not.
Well,
touch
certain
it.
areas
What
certain areas are being left. We determined that after really a tremendous amount of study with some of the best architects in the world, we determined that really knocking it down, trying to use a little section. You know, the East Wing was not much. There was not much left from the original. It was over the course of 100 years, it was changed. The columns were removed, and it was a much different building. Then a story was added on in 1948, 1948.
It's kind of crazy how the Dems are literally crying about, well, I guess a building renovation, or it's the White House. I guess you could say a house renovations. So it's kind of crazy how the Dems are crying about that. Like, oh, he's destroying the White House. Who knows what he'll do with it? This is what dictators do, even though multiple presidents have done it throughout time. But hey, man, look, when Trump does something, it's automatically seen as authoritarian, you know, unconstitutional and fascist.
There was a story added on, which was not particularly nice. And the building was very, very much changed from what it was originally. It was never thought of as being much. It was a very small building. And rather than allowing that to hurt a very expensive, beautiful building that, frankly, they've been after for years. You have that. I brought these along so people could see, but it's, you know, there's a relative, nobody's actually seen anything quite like it. I think it'll be one of the great ballrooms anywhere in the world. It's about $300 million. It's set to do many, many things, including meetings of foreign leaders, including the honoring of foreign leaders. You can see this. This is a plan. It's got tables so that you honor a foreign leader. We have a proper space. Right now, we have a space that with tables holds about 79 people. And this is a proper kind of a thing. Now, what the White House was doing,
I ain't gonna lie, Trump doing this on purpose. He knows that this pisses off the Dems. So he's like, you know what? Let me show you the layout of the ballroom. Let me truly brag about this to really grind y'all gears. Because, bro, like, why else? Why else show off the ballroom? They're already mad that you're building it. They're mad that people are, no, trust me, no taxpayer money is going into it. This is all private donors. And, you know, possibly some of the money that Trump may get from suing the DOJ. Possibly.
As you know, as they were putting tents out on the lawn, this is an interior shot of the ballroom. I think there'll be nothing like it. And it's being paid for 100% by me and some friends of mine, donors to it. The government's paying absolutely nothing. We're also working with the military on it because they want to make sure everything's perfect. And the military is very much involved in this. They want to make sure everything is absolutely beautiful. You can see the kind of interiors that we're talking about. That's an interior of the ballroom. And it's the highest level. And you see it goes beautifully with the White House. I mean, the mix is beautiful. So over the years, many presidents have made changes. This obviously would be the biggest change, but this was something they've wanted for at least 150 years. Many of you have gone to the events where they had, as an example, President Xi, or they had, you know, a leader of one of the countries, including the king and the queen from your favorite country.
Absolutely.
Frankly. But where they'd be honored, and they'd be in a tent out on the lawn, and it would rain, and it was a disaster. Brian's shaking his head. You know what I'm talking about. And so I thought I'd bring this out because this is going to be probably the finest ballroom ever built, and we're doing it no cost to the country. It's being put, the money is being put in by me and donors, very great patriots actually, and the spirit on the building of it is amazing. We are using little sections of footings and various other things, but that's sort of irrelevant. In order to do it properly, we had to take down the existing structure. The way it was shown, it looked like we were touching.
So yeah, not taxpayer funded, but private donors. And if you think Trump can't get private donors to give up 230 million, I mean, remember Mary Ladison gave the man 100 million. You don't think he can get other people to give him large sums of money, considering his network?
In the White House, we don't touch the White House. That's a bridge, a glass bridge going from the White House to the ballroom. Then you get into the lobby of the ballroom, and then you go into the magnificent.
Maybe Miriam can give him another 100.
And it's something that
without the Israel
has gotten
support.
incredible reviews.
And you're just quickly following up on that. Just quickly following up on that, sir. I just want a quick follow up on that question. Your response to people who say that you haven't been transparent enough about this.
I haven't been transparent.
That some of your critics feel it should have
I've shown this to everybody that would listen. Third-rate reporters didn't see it because they didn't look. You're a third-rate reporter, always have been. So third-rate reporters didn't look, but anybody that asked, these pictures have been in newspapers.
Yeah.
They've been all over the place, and you know, we're very proud of it. It's gotten great reviews.
Which is hilarious because it's like, boy, that's not a good question. Yeah, this has been in all over the news. It's been all over. What was it? I think I seen this on the Washington Post. Like he's been pretty transparent about this ballroom. I don't know why this guy acting like it's such a surprise, or are you making this like underneath the people's nose? No, he's been upfront about this for months now.
It's gotten really great reviews. So I think we've been more transparent than anybody's ever been.
Mr. President, that the sanctions that you're announcing today will push Putin to the.
Well, I don't know that they will. I think that they'll certainly have an impact. They're massive sanctions. It's sanctions on oil. The two biggest oil companies, among the biggest in the world, but they're Russian. They do a lot of oil. And hopefully it'll push, hopefully he'll become reasonable, and hopefully Zelensky will be reasonable too. You know, it takes two to tango, as they say. And we're going to find out. They hate each other. These two people hate each other. You know that better than anybody. And it makes it more difficult than it should be. This should be easier to do. But the level of hatred between Zelensky and Putin is very substantial.
Could I add one thing? What the president is doing today with these sanctions is putting more pressure, of course, on both parts, in this case on Russia. It's all about changing the calculus, making sure that Putin understands that the president's vision this weekend of having a ceasefire, stop where they are, as you literally said, and that this has to be step one now. And for him to really accept that vision and to come to the table. And then you have to put pressure, and this is exactly what he did today.
Along with Europe. I mean, Europe, look, they've actually become friends of mine. I think all of them.
Yeah.
We have a very close relationship. And they want to see it end too. They really want to see it end. But I can say they're totally committed. If this went on for 10 more years, Europe is behind them. They just can't let that happen. You can't let what's been going on. Now, it should have never happened. It would have never happened if I were president. But it did happen. I inherited. This was Biden, a man who was, without question, you take a look at the new walkway, the presidential walk of fame, we call it. Biden is the worst president we've ever had, if he was even a president. The people that surrounded that desk made those decisions. But this should have never happened. It wouldn't have happened. But it did happen. I inherited it. We're going to get it ended, hopefully soon. Yes, please.
You had a Truth Social post earlier this afternoon talking about a Wall Street Journal report as a fake story.
Yeah,
It
fake.
sort of
Wall Street Journal is fake.
So this-
Less fake on financial than it is on gossip.
Can you just confirm that my understanding of what's happening is accurate? As I understand it, that story framed it like we had just lifted the U.S. a restriction on intelligence.
No, it said that I gave Ukraine permission to shoot missiles deep into Russia. I didn't do that.
Nope.
Second of all, they're not using our missiles. They're using, I think, European missiles or from someplace, but they're not using ours. And what they do, I don't control that. But I do control our missiles. They're not shooting our missiles in. It was a fake story. Wall Street Journal does a lot of fake stories.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that would be like absolutely insane for Trump to say that, because I mean, let's be real. I'm pretty sure if Putin, let's say that was true, that would highly escalate things between Trump and Putin. Like there would even be no room for diplomacy at that point, because like, oh, you pretty much are trying to get this man to strike like basically key cities in my country, and you're telling him to do it. Yeah, trust me, that's not a smart diplomatic move, like at all. But that's why Trump didn't do it. He didn't say anything. I mean, it just would be a very idiotic thing to say. And I don't know why the Wall Street Journal would even stoke tension like that.
The president of Colombia in a recent interview said that if you won't change, he thinks that people should get rid of you.
We're talking about now Columbia, the country, not the university.
Yes.
Go ahead. He said what?
He said that if you won't change, then perhaps you need to be gotten rid of. Do you view that as a threat?
Well, he's a thug and bad guy. He's a guy that is making a lot of drugs. We've just, as of today, stopped all payments going to Colombia, the country Colombia. Also, the school Colombia. No, we settled. We made a settlement with him. But no, he's a thug, and he's a bad guy, and he's hurt his country very badly. They're doing very poorly, Colombia. They make cocaine. They have cocaine factories. They grow all sorts of crap that's drugs, bad drugs coming into the United States, goes generally through Mexico. And he better watch it, or we'll take very serious action against him and his country. His country is, what he has led his country into is a death trap.
And the president of Colombia has already came out and spoken out against Trump. Now, of course, he had his little rebellion going like, oh, Trump, you're not going to do anything. You won't come over here. You'll start a fight. And so pretty much it's almost like he's saying, yeah, don't come over here. I'm protecting these cartel members, and what you going to do about it? I mean, man, well, we'll see where that takes that man. But I guess he is the what? I think he's a socialist. He's also a socialist, I'm pretty sure.
Please.
Has the Secretary General presented his Ukraine peace plan to you? Are you prepared to be chairman of the board of peace?
Oh, there is no Secretary General peace plan. But I'm here. I really want to correct it, because I saw some of them.
Oh yeah, and this guy right here, I seen somebody ask this in the chat. Yes, he is the NATO Secretary General.
In the media, of course, many people are thinking how to bring this terrible war to an end, and supporting the president in doing that. Why I'm here is to dialogue again with the president how I can be, how NATO, my colleagues and other colleagues in NATO can be of maximum support to get that done. But there is no peace plan on the table. I mean, if there is a peace plan, it is what the president said last Friday and Sunday, which is stop where you are, stop the fighting.
This is about NATO. We're a very proud member of NATO. We have a great relationship with the countries of NATO. I think made much better by our visit a few months ago when they agreed to 5% instead of 2% of GDP. That was a big concession. I think that was a concession that 2 years ago nobody would have said, even a year ago.
Even 9 months ago, before you were elected.
Yeah, they would have said that's not possible. And the difference is they're paying 5% as opposed to not paying 2%. A lot of them weren't paying, with the exception of Spain. I think you're going to have to talk to Spain, because they're not. Spain is not a team player. So other than Spain, everybody's 100%. And you could solve the Spain problem very easily, I think, if you want. Yeah, Brian, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. And then we'll take Brian. Go ahead.
The soybean farmers.
Well, one, I mean, I don't think Spain can afford to, and they've expressed that they're unwilling to do so as well. So, Spain is pretty much standing. I guess they're the only ones really standing up to Trump when it comes to this whole 2% because he spent too much on their social services and all that good stuff, the welfare programs, to even think about military spending. Like, why even think about military spending? They got NATO to worry about that for them, and they're taking advantage of it.
Are they going to be getting support from you soon?
Yeah, well, they do. So what's happened, you could say with that, you could say with beef, with all of it. The beef, the ranchers, let's say, who have done a great job, have lost their shirts for many, many years. They've really been decimated. And I helped them a lot. I put tariffs on things coming in to the country, including beef. And that gave them a chance to finally have a decent industry. We are going to be talking to them. They're great people, but they've been hurt for 25, 30 years. They've been losing because other countries have taken advantage of them. And by putting tariffs on, they've been able to make a few dollars. They've been able to have an industry. But I also want to keep the beef prices low. So I'll be talking with the ranchers, and I'll be speaking with a lot of different people, including Scott and Howard, and we'll do something. Because prices are way down in our country. Energy is way down. I think you're going to see $2 gasoline very soon. I see that it's $2.50 in a lot of places, $2.50. We were heading to $5, $6, and $7. If Biden didn't go back to my policy toward the end, you would have seen, but he didn't go back to the full policy, and he missed the most important thing. So we were up to, we were way up. I think you're going to see $2 gasoline. We couldn't even break that number. That's a big difference. The only cost that's really up is beef.
Yeah. Right now we are seeing about $2.60, $2.80 gasoline. And it's pretty good. I mean, it's way better than, like, what was it? The previous month we were hanging around at $3, $3.20.
The fake news only wants to talk about beef. And what I did is I made it possible for those people to survive. They're incredible people. But they were being decimated by other countries. And I didn't want that to happen. So prices are way down. Groceries are down. Everything's down. Energy's way down. Even interest rates with a bad chairman of the Fed. He's terrible. He's a fool. But even interest rates are down. So our country has never done better. We're going to take in, I think, $21 trillion this year. No country has ever taken in more than $3. And we're going to take in $21 trillion of investments because of the tariffs. If we didn't have tariffs, we would be a mess. We would be a national security problem. And
yeah, we would actually have no leverage. We wouldn't be able to leverage our consumer economy without tariffs. So it is, and here's the thing. The Supreme Court is going to rule in Trump's favor. I did see somebody in the chat try to say, well, the Supreme Court ruled against Trump's tariffs. No, they didn't. They're actually discussing that this month. So get your information straight. But most likely they're going to go ahead and okay Trump's tariffs, because there's a lot of sections of the Trade Act that he can go under to implement those tariffs. And then here's the thing. I mean, he has a pretty good record with the tariffs so far. I mean, prices haven't skyrocketed. The economy, well, the stock market is doing well. He's actually bringing in revenue. So he has a pretty strong case for tariffs right now. So in my personal belief, he's going to win that Supreme Court case, just like he's been winning all the Supreme Court cases. I mean, they're allowing this man to pretty much go up to Venezuelans and strip them of their deportation protections. It's like, y'all didn't even believe that was going to happen. So let's let the Supreme Court decide on tariffs, because I believe they're going to go ahead and give it to him. There's just so many arguments that they can take against him.
We've done a job. So I'm very happy about that. We're going to do something very quickly and easily on beef to get it down.
Oh yeah, the stock market's doing good. GDP done went up 3%. I mean, you're right. Stock market's in the economy, but I mean, when you have a good stock market, your GDP's going up, money's still in circulation. I mean, positive job growth for the entire year. I don't know what else to tell you, but it's working. It's working. I don't know what else you want to hear, but it's working.
The ranchers understand that. They're so happy for what I've done. I saved them. I don't think you'd have any beef in this country if I didn't do that. So we're very proud of that. Yeah, Brian?
Yes, sir. Yesterday in Los Angeles, immigration officials were attacked by some protesters.
Yeah, sure.
To arrest an illegal alien Gavin Newsom, other Democrats have used very aggressive language in terms of how to address ICE
Yeah.
cases out in the field. Is there any responsibility that we could place on Gavin Newsom and other elected officials for using such aggressive language?
Well, Gavin has to be careful. Remember that when I first came in, they had a terrible riot in Los Angeles. They had the fires, which shouldn't have happened. They didn't have the water for the fires. They should have had the water coming in from the Pacific Northwest. They didn't have the waters. They didn't have water in the hydrants or the sprinklers. So they had the fires, and then they had the riot. And if we didn't go and take care of that riot, you would have lost Los Angeles. You would have canceled the Olympics, which is because of me in Los Angeles. And the police commissioner, the head of the police, said, if the president didn't come in, we would have lost Los Angeles. We did not have the capability of taking care of it. And he said it very strongly. And we did a great job. And within a week, it was all done. Within one day, it was done. But within a week, it was all done. And then they go back to their normal practice of weakness, of not taking care of criminals, meaning taking care of putting them in jails where they should be.
I mean, that is the problem with these Democratic leaders, or I'll say more of the Democrat mayors. Yeah, they completely failed their cities. They let them fall into high crime, high drug use, high homelessness. And if you look at the statistics, every single time it's pretty much a Democratic mayor running that city into the ground. And the reason why I'm talking about blue cities is because, you know, Dems like to deflect and be like, well, what about the red states? Well, if you're smart, you'll sit there and look at that red state and look at all the high crime cities, and you'll see that they're all ran by Dems. So you're kind of proving our point just by talking about red states.
Washington, D.C., and you all are
We
the
appreciate
best
that.
people for that, because Washington, D.C. is now one of the safest cities. It was one of the most dangerous cities in the country. Now Washington, D.C., believe it or not, I'm embarrassed to say it in front of you, but Washington, D.C. went from one of the worst, most dangerous cities to you can walk down the street, you can send your child to meet you at a location. Your child is going to be fine. We have a very, very safe city, one of the safest, and you know, very proud of that. Memphis, by the way, is coming along fantastically. We're in Memphis right now. We had the FBI in Chicago. We're doing things. We haven't served Chicago yet. When we do, Chicago will be very quickly a very, very safe city. But if you,
I mean, yes, it will. Shoot. I mean, if the National Guard can do wonders in DC and Memphis, let them run their magic through Chicago, because they got heavy gang violence that needs to be cleaned up. So yes, please bring the National Guard to Chicago. They definitely need it. And you know, the Insurrection Act could be implemented against well, I would say the governor and the mayor. And I'm gonna say that the mayor of Chicago, look, if he actually creates this ICE-free zone, then Trump will be able to use the Insurrection Act. If he falls back on that, then it's going to be a bit harder for Trump to implement that.
you look at what's happening in Memphis, it's great. But you got to look at Washington. People are coming up to me, people that work in the White House, they're saying, thank you, sir. And I immediately know what they're thanking me about. It's thanking, they can walk to work. They would never walk to work a year ago. They can walk into work and they feel safe and secure, and it's beautiful. And I'll tell you what, it's really an honor to add that great ballroom to the structures in Washington. It's going to be one of the great ballrooms of the world. And I think it's going to be something you're all going to be very proud of.
Coming up with President Xi, what do you hope comes out of that meeting? What deliverables?
I think we'll make a deal. I think we're going to make a deal on the rare earth is the least of it. Look, the tariffs are much more powerful than the rare earth. The rare earth is a disturbance, but there's a lot of rare earth around. I'll tell you, I've had more calls on rare earth. We've got it.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. Everybody got rare earth minerals. It's not really rare. The problem is rare earth refining. China's dominant in rare earth refining, not rare earth minerals. They don't just have the stockpile of, they weren't blessed just to have all the stockpile of rare earth minerals in China. No, we all got rare earth minerals. The fact is we don't refine them, well, because it's really taxing on the environment. And, you know, we got our tree huggers out here. China don't got no tree huggers. I mean, not at all. You can tell they don't got none.
Everybody's. We'll make a deal on, I think, everything. I think we're going to make a deal on soybeans and the farmers. I think we're going to make a deal on maybe even nuclear. You know, President Putin in his call mentioned to me about nuclear, where we do a de-escalation, and I'm fine with that. I think it's good. I think it's a very appropriate thing. We have the most nuclear weapons. Russia's second. China is actually third by a long way, but they'll be even within 4 or 5 years. Too many. And we are talking about de-escalation that's already being talked about.
Can you use the example,
And I think we'll probably add China into the mix.
Mr. President, can you ask President Xi to stop purchasing all of that Russian oil that's funding this war against Ukraine?
Well, I think I'll be talking to him about it. I think it's a little bit of a different talk. India, as you know, has told me they are stop. You know, it's a process. You can't just stop it. But by the end of the year, they'll be down to almost nothing. That's a big thing. That was almost 40% of the oil. India, they've been great. Spoke to Prime Minister Modi yesterday. They've been absolutely great. China's a little bit different. You know, they're a little bit different relationship they have with Russia. It was never good, but because of Biden and Obama, they got forced together. They should.
Well, China honestly just backed out of a decent deal with Russia. They backed out of a deal where Russia would send these guys, what was it, rare earth minerals, and they would sell to them at a really low price, and then China resell it at a higher one. They pulled out of that, so they're no longer buying Russian rare earth minerals from them, and that's actually hurting Russia pretty bad. And then, of course, India pulling out and buying Russian oil, that's devastating. And then, of course, now we got sanctions under two major oil companies. Well, I mean, we'll see how my man Putin survives, but it doesn't look like he's going to last too long or he'll be able to carry out this war any longer. I'll give it at least a month.
Never been forced together, but they're a little bit forced. But they're by nature, they're not. They can't be friendly. They can't be friendly. By nature, they can, I hope they are friendly, frankly, but they can't be. You should not have forced Russia and China together. And Biden did that, and Obama did that. They forced them together because of energy, because of oil. And
I do want to remind you guys of something. You know, there's been 598,000 U.S. jobs has been added so far in 2025, from January to August. So, yeah, you guys are sounding a bit wild when y'all say, oh, there's no jobs. Bro, there's been almost 600,000 jobs added to the economy so far. So you guys saying that there's been no jobs added, you just don't know the facts, or you're just going off of whatever CNN or MSNBC tell you.
So they are closer than they would normally be. I think I'll probably be talking about it. What I'll really be talking to him about is how do we end the war with Russia and Ukraine, whether it's through oil or energy or anything else. And I think he's going to be very receptive. He would now like to. I'm not sure that he did at the beginning. He would now like to see that war end.
Do you think Xi plays an important role, Mr. President? Do you think Xi plays an important role in terms of inserting himself and convincing Putin, who he speaks to regularly, to stop the war?
Yeah, I do. I think he can have a big influence on Putin. I think he can have a big influence on a lot of people. Look, he's a respected man. He's a very strong leader of a very big country. Yeah, I think he can have a big influence. And we will certainly be talking about Russia, Ukraine.
Thank you, Mr. President. Liam Cosgrove with Zero. My question is actually for the Secretary General.
Yes.
Mr. Secretary, I don't know if you've seen this, but polling out of Ukraine shows a massive collapse in Ukrainian support for the war. A Gallup poll had it just 23%. That's less than a quarter. Zelensky came out today praising President Trump's proposal for freezing the front lines of battle as part of a ceasefire. He said that's a good compromise. So people view your coming here as, you know, you're lobbying the U.S. government to continue its involvement in the war. You're obviously lobbying for more NATO weapons to be sent to Ukraine, but Ukrainians themselves don't want to fight the war. So how do you justify that morally?
Well, I'm lobbying only for one thing, and that is to make sure that we end this war. And I don't have to lobby the president because we totally agree.
I mean, I kind of get his point. I mean, man, y'all saying y'all want to end the war, but y'all sending weapons into it. I mean, if anything, you're kind of proliferating it, but okay, you know, I guess we need to support Ukraine, right? All right, NATO.
On this, and this is what he has been
That's
doing.
actually a really good question.
Everything he could do to break the deadlock, we agree on this, and this is what he has been doing from day one. Everything he could do to break the deadlock with Putin, get the dialogue going, dialoguing also with Zelensky, and getting this war done. It's crucial. And the fact that the US is now supplying weapons into Ukraine, paid for by allies, is extremely important. And that's now happening since 2-3 months. About 2 billion moving into Ukraine.
Hasn't wind down. Why do you think that'll wind it down now?
What do you mean?
You think more weapons will wind down the war?
No, I mean, there's more to be done. So what you need, what the president said this weekend, stop where you are, so basically do a ceasefire and then have all your discussions about territory and whatever. But first, stop the war. This is what you said on Friday. And on Sunday, we
It's a
have to
war. I mean, your question's really a fair one. It's a war that should have never started.
No, but
And
it
you
has to
know,
be
you know how
ended.
I feel
And
about
now
it.
it has
But
to
it's
be
a war
ended.
that should have never started. And we're not. So,
But he was not able to explain why too well. And be honest, he was not able to explain why. Like, yo, you say you want the war to end, but you're sending weaponry into it. Like, and we're talking about a war that Ukrainians, like, honestly reporting that they're deserting. They're deserting the battlefield. Ukrainians. So there's a lot of Ukrainians that don't want to fight this war, but you guys just keep sending more weapons for them to fight this war. And I would just say, like, bro, there's no amount of weapons we can send to these guys to help them win the war or to fight back Russia. It's like they don't have the manpower. Like, we're talking about a population of what, 37, 39 million people against a population of like Russia's population of 141. And then which one do you think has the bigger army? Usually it's the country with the bigger population. Actually, it's the country with the bigger population every time.
selling any weapons to Ukraine, we're selling them to NATO.
Yeah.
Which is different from before. With Biden, he just gave $350 billion worth of weapons and cash right into Ukraine, and that was so foolish. But we sell them to NATO, and in theory, you can do what you want with them. It doesn't have to be Ukraine, but probably it is mostly.
No, what nations are doing now is buying from this program and making sure that the supply is in Ukraine, so Europeans and Canadians. And for example, these are interceptors for the Patriot systems, crucial to protect the cities. Today, again, a Russian attack has killed children, at least seriously wounded children in kindergarten in Ukraine. So we need to make sure that the air defense systems are in place, and we need the US systems to do that, and the Europeans are paying for that. And this is exactly the type of actions we needed, and the President is doing that and trying everything to get this war to an end, starting with the ceasefire.
You still believe that Putin wants to take all of Ukraine?
I always felt that way. I always felt he wanted to. When I was
And I mean, you know, it's so crazy when people think I don't know about the war. When if you actually watch my show, I listen to both sides of propaganda. I listen to Ukraine and what they gotta say, and I listen to Russia and what they gotta say. And then I also listen to the reporters who are actually on the battlefield. And both sides will tell you, reporters from both sides will tell you that, yeah, Ukraine is losing this war. Russia has dominant force. Yeah, of course, we can squeeze them economically, but that will not help Ukraine beat them on the battlefield. I mean, like I said, you got to be like 20 types of delusional to sit there and think that Ukraine was going to beat Russia. In any way, shape, or you got to be delusional. But hey, you can go ahead and keep being delusional, and you're just going to be heartbroken when, well, Russia damn near gets to keep its territory. You'll just be heartbroken. But hey, at least somebody told you.
in my first term, I was with, I was very.
And I'm not on Russia's side. I'm just on the side of reality. I'm just giving y'all the reality of it. I say I want Russia's economy to be destroyed so they'll stop this war. I say that all the time. But I mean, you guys just want to hear Ukraine's winning, but that's just not the reality. And I mean, come on now. If you got to be propagandized into believing that a small country is beating a superpower, you guys are like, what? Really? Okay, guys. Okay.
Close to him, relatively speaking. It was harder because of the Russia hoax. But I would talk to President Putin about Ukraine, and it was the apple of his eye. I'd say it was the apple of his eye, but it would have never happened. He knew the consequences were too great. When we had a rigged election and all of a sudden I wasn't there, he said, wow, I think he looked at Afghanistan, how horribly that was handled, so stupidly. And I think that really gave him a little additional, incentive. I always felt he wanted.
It does seem like Putin does get active under Democrats. Like what? When Obama took Crimea, then with Putin went into Ukraine. I mean, shoot, we don't need no more Dems in office, man, because every time a Dem in office, Putin start acting crazy.
The whole thing, not a piece of it. But I think now he's willing to negotiate a little bit further, and I think he's willing to make a deal. We'll see. We'll see. We don't want him. We don't want him to have the whole thing. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. You have this big terrorist case before the Supreme Court. It's November the 5th.
Yeah.
You suggested you might actually show up to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, I'd like to. I think it's one of the most important decisions we'll ever have for the Supreme Court. With tariffs, we're a strong, sound country. We're a nationally secure and internationally secure country. We're a very rich country. Without tariffs, it's a slog for this country, a big slog. I think it's one of the most important decisions in the history of the Supreme Court. And I might go there. I really believe I have an obligation to go there. We are doing so well as a country right now because of tariffs. And you have to understand, tariffs have been used against us for many years, decades.
I know one of the craziest arguments is that it's kind of crazy how the Dems pretty much want to get in the way of us utilizing tariffs, but they don't care that other countries utilize tariffs on us. Like, they don't care that other countries hit us with tariffs, and they don't sit there and say that those other countries are taxing their people. But when we start using it, there's this propaganda now that, oh, tariffs are a tax on the people. I always say Dems are just holding water for the corporate elites at this point. Because, like, who else would want to stop the reshoring of manufacturing jobs? Who else would hate to have to come back here because we made it unprofitable for them to, operate overseas? Who else would hate that but the corporate elites? And it's kind of funny how the same guys who bitch about the corporate elites are holding water for them on a daily basis. So shout out to you Dems who think that tariffs are a tax on the people, because you fell for the corporate elites lie to make you think that it's okay to outsource things to China at the detriment of, well, the American middle class. But y'all don't care about that though.
And just slowly but surely hurting our country so badly. That's why we owe $37 trillion. We owe that because other countries have taken advantage of us over many, many decades, many decades. And now we're a rich country. We're taking in.
And I mean, let's be honest. If we'd have kept those jobs here, we'd have never let China outsource. We'd have never let the pharmaceuticals outsource to Ireland. If all of those jobs was kept here, we probably wouldn't be in this much debt. We definitely have more tax revenue. There would be people with more jobs. So yeah, there'd have been nothing but positives if we never introduced the practice of free trade, which doesn't work out for us because a lot of the stuff we let out for free trade, we can produce here. And free trade, if you actually read an economics book, only makes sense if you can't produce it in your nation.
Money like we've never done before. Without tariffs, that would not be happening. And also, I solved, as you know, 8 wars. Of the 8, 5 of them.
Bro, even the person who came up with the idea of free trade, even the economists who came up with the idea even said that it doesn't work if you could produce it in your own country. Like, man.
Maybe even 6 of them are because of tariffs. The threat of tariffs on these nations, if you want to fight, that's okay. India and Pakistan. If you want to fight, that's okay. But you're going to pay tariffs, and they're going to be very substantial. And we're in the midst of a trade deal. And they said, we don't want to do that. 2 days later, they call up and they're not going to fight anymore. They have peace. But I've done that out of 8, I would say 6 times, 5 times, 6 times. Tariffs are vital to this country. And tariffs have been used against us by China, by every other country. And all we're doing is using them to negotiate fair deals. And as you know, we made a fair deal with Japan. We made a fair deal with all of Europe, the European Union. We made a fair deal with South Korea. These are countries that were taking so much money away from us, not sustainable.
I mean, yeah, we got a trade deal with what? Japan. We have a trade deal with South Korea. We got a trade deal with Indonesia. I mean, yeah, and here's the thing. The best thing about these trade deals is that, one, they all pay about 10 to 15%. 2, there's 0% tariffs on our import, and they're allowing access into their markets. So it's always a bonus for us.
And now we're taking in hundreds of billions and even trillions of dollars. If this country is not allowed to have tariffs, if this country is not allowed to have the president of the United States negotiate on behalf of it with tariffs, we are put in a position where we're going to be a third world country. We can't let that happen. I think it's the most important case that we're going to have for many, many years to come. One of the most important cases we've ever had. With tariffs, we're a rich, secure country. Without tariffs, we're a laughing stock. We'll be a laughing stock. And I don't want to have anything to do with that. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
I don't even hold on. Y'all don't even know about the deal that Trump signed with Japan or Korea, but then y'all be coming up in here acting like y'all know everything. Oh, that is crazy. That's crazy how y'all do not know about none of the current trade deals that Trump has implemented already. That is wild. People that think they know everything, though. So I ask you something about what trade deals? Are you serious? The one with the EU? Like what? Like, everybody was mad when he got the deal with the EU. Everybody was upset about that. I mean, even the Dems had to sit there and be like, all right, we didn't expect him to get no deal with the EU. We thought they was going to grandstand with the rest of the world. And guess what? Even the rest of the world capitulated to the tariffs. But all right, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. Here's Russia's response to Trump's new sanction on its two largest oil companies. Let's get right into it.
Russia responds after the U.S. hit the country's two largest oil companies with big new sanctions over the war in Ukraine. Russia's foreign minister is now calling that move entirely counterproductive. And we are standing by to hear from Vladimir Putin. Also this morning, oil prices are rising sharply as traders are worried about a squeeze on the global supply that could be coming due to these sanctions. President Trump's actions showing signs that his patience with Vladimir Putin is waning for now. He announced yesterday that he's nixed an anticipated summit with the Russian leader, a meeting that Donald Trump himself was very enthusiastic about just last week after his phone call with Putin. CNN's Claire Sebastian is tracking all of this for us, and there is a lot that has developed overnight. Claire.
Yeah, Kate, I think, first of all, this is, and we see this coming through in the Russian rhetoric this morning, a big political shift. Even before we start to talk about the economics, Russia has been through 9 months of the Trump administration where multiple deadlines and threats on sanctions have not been enforced, have essentially evaporated, or they've been able to sidestep them. Now these sanctions are in place, and they are bigger than even the Biden administration was prepared to do. Rosneft and Lukoil, the two biggest oil producers in Russia, they account for around half of Russian oil exports. So, look, this is definitely big. We're seeing rhetoric coming out from Russia brushing this off. The foreign ministry spokeswoman saying, look, our country has developed a strong immunity, she said, to Western restrictions, essentially saying that it's not going to have the desired impact. But then you mentioned the former president now.
And that was my fear, too, that Russia's pretty much saying that, well, I mean, look how much sanctions you guys got on us already. We're already working with Chinese yuan. We're already working with other currencies, and they're in BRICS. And BRICS hold, like, I mean, one of their main missions is to kind of wane themselves off the American dollar. And this is why I didn't really like the idea of sanctions. Like I said, I love the idea of squeezing their economy to low-key stop the war. But sanctions, I don't know. I don't like it because it builds distrust in our dollar, like further distrust in our dollar.
Deputy head of the Security Council, Dmitry Medvedev, saying the United States is our adversary and their talkative, quote, peacemaker, he says, has now fully embarked on the warpath.
Mikey, no, actually, like the UK deal, that was passed through Parliament. I mean, the Ukrainian deal passed through Parliament. The Japanese passed through their Parliament. I mean, well, through their Congress or Parliament. So no, you're wrong. You're wrong, Mick. You're wrong. Like, trust me, you don't know anything. I would ask you to simply Google search it or Chat GPT. A lot of them are solidified already. Like, and this was months ago. I mean, bro, this is not anything that happened like 2 months ago. This happened like 3-4 months ago. Like, you're actually late.
Against Russia. So they are having
y'all late to the party, man.
As to the economic front, is this going to have the desired effect? Is this going to cost Russia enough to bring Putin to the table? That is just not clear yet. It depends on a number of things. Are these sanctions going to be heavily enforced by the US? Is Russia going to find workarounds, as it's suggested, as it's done so effectively so far in this war, with things like the Shadow Fleet? And I think there's a big wild card around India as well. From talking to experts this morning, they import a lot of Russian oil at the moment, but they are involved in trade talks with the US, and there are suggestions that they might be likely to adhere to this US policy and perhaps cut back or stop exporting or stop importing Russian oil, and that would be a big problem for Russia. So we are really watching and trying to understand the impact of this and essentially what the US will do going forward. How much commitment will they show to enforce these new sanctions, Kate?
Yeah, and you're spot on, it seems, with the reality of it. The announcement, yes, important, coming from the Treasury and how they're saying it, but the follow-through and how it's going to impact the biggest purchasers of Russian oil and gas is really what needs to be seen and is not quite known yet. It's great to see you, Claire. Thank you so much.
Well, we're joined now by Peter Zalmayev, Director of the Eurasia Democracy Initiative. Appreciate you being with us.
Pleasure to be here.
All right, so we already got pretty much what Russia's saying. Russia's pretty much not taking it too serious. They already have enough sanctions on them, and they've already found ways to work around the American dollar, which is one of the main points I was making as well. I said, look, man, if tariffs don't work, then it is what it is. But it does seem like tariff did work with not China, but India by getting them to back out of buying their oil. So I would have went with just keep using tariffs on countries that buy their oil. Sanctions don't really work.
New York City's getting hit with an ice.
I mean, shoot, yeah, get ICE out of there. As soon as they get all the illegals, yes, go ahead, get ICE up out of there, but make sure to get all the illegals first.
Storm.
They are not the only ones with guns in this city.
Whoa.
What George did, I just thought was a self-sabotaging act of disloyalty. When you use moments and then stab my dad in the back, I don't know why anyone would think that I have anything nice to say.
Hunter's got an enemies list, and everyone's on it.
I don't live my life to impress Jake Tapper.
They all ought to have their heads shaven. They should be put in orange pajamas. They should be marched down Pennsylvania Avenue, and the public should be invited to spit on them.
Democrats are spitting mad.
No Trump! No Trump! No King! No King!
Plus,
Sandy?
I swear. That's a problem with Dems, man. I mean, they spend too much time protesting Trump instead of coming up with some real policies.
About it, stud.
the Cajuns raging.
I think they all ought to have their heads shaven. They should be put in orange pajamas, and they should be marched down Pennsylvania Avenue, and the public should be invited to spit on them.
Carville wants to shave Stephen Miller's head squeaky clean. Joke's on him. Miller's already bald and he looks great in orange. We'll leave the razor with James. We know he shaves his chest. The Cajun has stage 5 TDS, and there's
I never understood what's the hate with Stephen Miller. I just don't get it. Like, bro, Dems have an unreasonable hate for Stephen Miller. It's like it's Trump, then Stephen Miller. Like it's like right under them, right under Trump. Y'all hatred for Stephen Miller is like it's something different. I'm be honest with you. It's
a few known treatments. Read Get It Together, still available where books are sold. Self-deportation like Irish Rosie, and acoustic guitar therapy.
This is a song I wrote called Crazy World, which is how I cope.
Okay, let's hear it.
This crazy world's gone crazy. Who am I to judge? It's nice to know in a world.
Actually, you know the most funny thing is when people say MAGA doesn't like you and the Dems like you. You know what? Like, and it's funny when black people say it. You think the Dems like you? They let high crime into your city, whole lot of immigrants, a whole lot of drugs, and they don't help you with none of it. And you think they like you? I mean, bro, MAGA's not even doing anything to me. I'm be quite honest. MAGA leadership is not destroying my community. Democratic leadership is. So trust me, the Democrats definitely don't like me. If MAGA don't like me, oh, okay, that's fine. But the Democrats definitely don't like me. Like what? They destroy my community by the day. And it ain't Republicans running these black cities, is it? Thought so.
Full of hate. There's someone out there still making love.
Don't crash out, just make love. Or better yet, if you need something a little more exotic, Shri will serenade you with his big, beautiful bullhorn.
No Trump! No Trump! No King! No King! No King! No King!
Music and lovemaking aren't for everyone.
Still can't believe it's
Tampon's
70.
dealing with his TDS by playing a little putt-putt.
Republicans in Washington are making it even harder for folks. Now's the time for action.
Is Tampon allowed within 500 feet of a mini golf course? He better check with his PO. You know how Trump blows off steam? He builds things.
You can see the kind of interiors that we're talking about. That's an interior of the ballroom. And it's the highest level. And you see it goes beautifully with the White House. I mean, the mix is beautiful.
Hips is livid that Trump's running the government better than ever during the Schumer shutdown.
Donald Trump is once again preparing to fly out of the country. The East Wing of the White House is being demolished
to be rebuilt
so that Donald Trump can construct a ballroom where he will be celebrated like a king.
There's no throne, Hips. It's just a ballroom.
I'm sorry, it's just so ridiculous. It's like someone will be celebrated as a king, or he's just adding an extra feature to the White House. So, you know, the future presidents can use it as well. I mean, you know, there's also that as well. There's also that line of reasoning.
where you shake your booty. Dime store Obama should remember the cross-legged Messiah was dying for a big, beautiful ballroom. He had to throw a state dinner in a tent like Gaddafi. It was so tacky, people crashed it. If the Obamas built a ballroom instead of a basketball court, they could have booked Stevie Wonder. Oprah and Stedman could have done the foxtrot, and the women's hair wouldn't have been all frizzed out from the humidity. But instead, Biden got the keys to the castle and got lost, and Kamala bankrupted the whole kingdom. The DNC's still behind on bills. They're still paying off Kamala's debt.
Yep.
Just last week, the DNC tried to throw a fundraiser in San Francisco with
20
Harris
million.
as the headliner, and the donors were like, lose this number. One anonymous donor replied with a profanity-laced rejection.
Damn.
Nancy might not be around for long either. Democrats are throwing around the R word. Retired.
Yeah.
Word is next month, she's making a big ol' announcement. The Pauly P portfolio had a good run, but good things come to an end. The saying usually goes, mo money, mo problems, but for Democrats, it's no money, more problems. Democrats are so strapped for cash, they won't even take a pay cut in solidarity with bureaucrats.
Some members are voluntarily not taking pay. Are you on board with that? No.
Where's Bernie? Well, Burn Dog's
Well.
actually trying to make a quick buck during the shutdown. He wrote a book called Fight Oligarchy. How many times have we heard that?
This democracy is evolving into an oligarchy. We are moving in the direction of oligarchy. This great country is evolving into an oligarchic society. The drift which currently exists toward an oligarchic form of society.
I think some would agree.
Fighting oligarchy has been Bernie's job for 30 years.
I'll be real with you. I somewhat agree, but like I said, Barney's been speaking about it for a while, and he hasn't really put too much towards it besides just, words.
And he's still fighting it. That means he hasn't done a very good job. You know who else is fighting a fake enemy for a quick buck? Binder.
We can't behave as if...
I mean, if Bernie really wanted to fight the oligarchy, bro, hop on the Federal Trade Commission chair and stop these guys from being monopolies. I mean, if you really wanted to help Bernie, there was a position for you, and it's at the FTC. So shout out to the Federal Trade Commission to where you could have literally stopped all these companies from grouping up and becoming monopolies or super conglomerates.
or react to situations per usual. These are unprecedented times. You have to lean in, you have to fight. And these are the things that everyday Americans are asking for. Where are the Democrats? Why are they not fighting?
Binder's DEI revenge tour is getting messy. She's demolishing the Democrat Party like it's the East Wing.
Bruh.
Who do you call when you need help blowing stuff up? Hunter. Yesterday, Hunter said he wanted to bust Obama's lip. Now he wants a piece of Clooney.
But what George did, I just thought was a self-sabotaging act of disloyalty.
Nah, keep bringing Hunter Biden on interviews. One, I mean, bro's a pretty good, he's pretty entertaining to listen to when it comes to his interviews. I'm not even gonna lie. I was entertained throughout his interview because all of the wild stuff that he says and how he's low-key talk about, oh yeah, I hate this them, I hate that them, I want to smack this guy, slap that guy. I'm like, oh, okay then. Well,
not just to my dad, but to the whole party. That's my opinion. Okay,
I get it,
and I think I have a right to be really upset about it.
And he's also mad that he literally seen the entire Democratic Party turn on his dad, so he's also pretty bitter about that. Reasonably so.
Hunter's still fuming about the coup, and if he sees Tapper, he's going to snatch his glasses and stick them where the sun don't shine.
Well,
he says that I'm a scumbag and I'm a this and that and the other thing, and you know what? You can read my book about all my scumbaggery. I wrote all about it. And addiction is a really, really, really ugly thing. Divorces are really, really, really ugly things. I don't live my life to impress Jake Tapper, but I am. I just think it's really, really poor journalism.
Hunter's scrappy, and Binder looks like she's still on the payroll. These two are laying the groundwork for the big guy to drop his memoir. Binder says Joe still has his fastball.
I saw someone who was sharp,
understood history, understood policy. I'm not saying he didn't age, but I'm saying he was there. He was like really.
It wasn't dementia.
No, no. It was somebody that cared about this country.
Hunter thinks Daddy would have won if it weren't for Clooney. And now he has an enemies list. And the Obama boys are right at the top.
Isn't it the same argument that the Pod Save America guys made, that David Axelrod made, that Jake Tapper made, that, go down the list of all of the guys that were saying that Joe Biden could never win. They were all the guys that said Joe Biden could never win in 2016. They're all the guys that said Joe Biden was out of the running and could not win in 2020.
I mean, let's be real. Even Obama didn't believe in Joe Biden. Like, let's just keep it real. So I guess Joe Biden did surprise his base.
Even Kamala's collateral damage. Hunter calls her a DEI hire.
Oh.
And said, of course the big guy knew it. So what?
The reason that he picked Kamala Harris is because of the fact that
come on,
he believes in, and I certainly believe, the most powerful force within the Democratic Party is and always has been the African American women.
AKA, we thought that diversity was going to win us the election, but it didn't. We thought if we got an old white man and some Hindu lady to get up together, we thought that was going to win us the election. If we called the Hindu lady a black woman, we really thought that was going to win us the election. Well, I mean, look where you guys are now. So, hey, sorry, guys. That diversity did not work. You guys lost to 2 white men.
The heart and soul and the conscience of the Democratic Party, and that's why he thought it was so important to have not. And by the way, and she had an incredible resume and is perfectly capable of being president of the United States.
Kamala could be president. Even Binder was like, Hunter, are you back on that crack? She says, I never really believed Harris could win. Wow. Maybe Binder does have a brain.
Yeah.
Democrats are 0-2 running women for president. 1 white, 1 black. Are they really going to run another woman?
I mean, this is something that a lot of Democrats are grappling with right now.
I guess when you don't succeed, try again. It's a Democratic motto when it comes to running women.
They've nominated women 2 of the last 3 elections for the presidency, lost both. There are some who say, well, we can't do that again. The stakes are too high. But of course, that does fall into the same misogynistic trap.
Other countries have no problem electing women.
Well, Democrats have 2 hot governor races in New Jersey and Virginia, and they're running Mickey and Abby. And they're both in trouble, bigly. They both want boys changing in girls' locker rooms and serve up word salads more than Mamala. Once again, the cross-legged Messiah has to try to save the ladies. They're going to stuff Barry in a jet from Honolulu and make him fly east to lecture the brothers again. And he's already complaining.
I thought I was going to be able to remove myself more from being out there in public and was going to be able to concentrate on what I really wanted to do, which was coach the next generation of leadership.
Barry's not just bailing out Democrats in the midterms. He's looking ahead to 28. Obama knows they can't run another woman, so he's choosing the next closest thing.
Someone that gets it and gets things done. It's my honor to introduce President Barack Obama.
No.
Thanks, Kevin.
No.
Thank you, everybody who is
Barry.
not just
Barry, I thought you were smarter than this. Barry. Oh, like Gavin Newsom. You couldn't find nobody else in the Democratic Party. You tell me that's your best guy, Gavin Newsom. You guys are cooked. It's over for you guys then. If Gavin Newsom is y'all best, and I know what, I thought Obama was going to grab somebody good, but to grab Gavin Newsom, bro, if y'all try to run Gavin Newsom, y'all will get cooked. Like, all we got to do is bring up his history in California. We'll just use that the entire election. And then we don't even got to say anything else. We don't even got to bring up the fact that he slept with his best friend's wife or nothing. Just bring up his record as governor. Let's keep all the personal stuff out of it.
on this call, but more importantly, doing the work. And good job, Governor Newsom, for the outstanding work that you've done and the leadership you've shown.
Newsom's the new it girl. The Obamas and the Clintons are both on board. He's the chosen one.
Oh,
but Gavin better have an answer for trans. Until they figure that out, they're toast.
Cooked.
There's one Democrat who thinks they have an answer.
You're Hunter Biden running for president, and they're attacking you about this damn. How do you respond to that?
No, I mean, look, I think the way that I respond to it is say, shut the up. Like, that's not our problem. If you're really that concerned about it, then go talk to your priest, go talk to your therapist.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube.
Oh, guys, you have any question, comments, jokes, or disagreements? I'll be happy to read it out loud. Like I said, just $2 and up. Other than that, I mean, you can cry in the chat if you want to. I mean, I'm not really paying attention to it too much unless it's like a member or a mod. If you're not a member or a mod in the chat, I'm really not paying too much to what you say. I'll catch something every now and then, but rarely.
Here with reaction, Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy, Homeland Security Advisor Stephen Miller.
Let's bring up the most hated bald-headed Republican, Stephen Miller. Y'all just let hate this man.
Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy, Homeland Security Advisor Stephen Miller. First, your reaction to Robert De Niro. I don't know. If it was me, I think I'd be hiring an attorney, and I'd be looking at suing for defamation. Number two, the master ICE tracker that they're putting on a website nationwide. Oh, that's going to make it really safe for ICE agents.
Well, Robert De Niro is a sad, bitter, broken old man who's mostly enraged because he has not made a movie worth watching in at least 30 years. Probably the longest string of flops, failures, embarrassments. This man has been degrading himself on camera with one horrific film after another for my entire adult life. And he's not taken seriously by anybody, not by his family, not by his friends, not by his community. He's a shell of a man, and everyone disregards everything he says. But let's talk about the threats to ICE officers. What we are seeing from the radical left, from the Democrat Party, is a direct frontal assault, attack on federal law enforcement, on the United States Constitution, and on the bedrock principle that the federal government is the supreme law of the land, that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. You have Democrats in New York City, for example, encouraging the rioters who are assaulting ICE officers, removing criminal aliens from their communities. You have Democrats trying to create tracking apps to tell the criminals, the fugitives, the rapists, the killers, the cartel members where and when ICE is going to be. You have Governor Pritzker trying to get ICE out of his city to protect illegal alien monsters who are committing crimes against children, against women, instead of protecting American citizens. This is a party that has embraced full-scale insurrection against the laws of the United States. You look at that arrest in Canal Street, for example, those 9 individuals, all illegal immigrants from Africa, almost all of whom were released into the country by the Biden administration. You have among them dozens of arrests, forgery, counterfeiting, drug dealing, narcotics trafficking, assault, battery, theft, domestic violence. And Democrats are saying these illegal aliens caught and released by the Biden administration not only should stay in our country, but they'll violently attack any federal officer who tries to remove them, and then more break.
I mean, and the worst part is American citizens will jump in on it. I mean, that's the worst part about it, is that, well, the Dems have sowed in the minds of Americans, of, well, Dems or liberals, that, oh, ICE is this terrorist group that's coming after your neighbor, when they're just doing their job. They're getting the illegals up out of here who's not supposed to be here. And for some reason, you guys have been radicalized to think differently. Like, oh, they're kidnapping citizens for weeks, when for some reason you guys don't know. I mean, look, maybe you guys need to look into ICE and police procedures, because you guys don't know that, yeah, if you're caught up in a sting, you can be held for up to 72 hours. And no U.S. citizen has got held up to 72 hours. There's been reports of 24 and 48, but they can hold you to that extra third day. So I'm not even sure what you guys are really complaining about when it comes to ICE. They're just doing their job. Now, if you guys want to protect illegals, just admit that. Just be real that you don't care about the federal law. You don't care about immigration law. You're un-American, and you just want illegals to live here. Like, bro, just admit it. It's okay. This is a safe space.
Breaking news reported out by Fox's own Bill Maloogian. 3 people just died in California, killed by an illegal alien on the road, driving a semi-truck that was allowed into the country, caught and released by Joe Biden, and put on the road by Gavin Newsom. How much more blood has to be spilled by Democrats, Sean, before this madness stops?
Well, do you think this rhetoric is incitement?
Do you believe that this is aiding and abetting? Do you believe that this tracking system is putting a target on the backs of law enforcement?
Yes, I believe it, and I know it. I talk to the ICE officers every day. You know, the director of ICE, as an example, Todd Lyons, they posted not only his address, but schematics of his house online to instruct terrorists on how to kill him in his home while he slept. That's what we're up against, Sean. But President Trump will not be deterred. He's made D.C. safe. He's made Memphis safe. He's going to make Chicago safe and Portland safe, and he's going to make America safe for all Americans.
All right, now let's go ahead and get into it. I believe that debate was, what was it? Yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. The Mamdani debate, the last final debate for the New York mayor, the last final one. I'll probably react to it tonight. I'll react to the full thing tonight, but you know, we'll just go over the reactions of it.
In a heated final debate before the election, less than 2 weeks away, New York City mayoral candidates sparring over Zohran Mamdani's idea for the economy, including raising the minimum wage.
The reason that we put forward $30 by 2030 is that that's the minimum that a New Yorker needs to be paid to be able to afford to live in this city. Our proposal that we put forward would be phased.
Yeah, but Mamdani, I mean, you're going to kill all small businesses. That's why when a lot of people say raise the minimum wage, but then the same people talk about raise the minimum wage, talking about, oh, well, small businesses are the backbone of the economy. I mean, you guys sound dumb. You guys know if you raise that to $30 an hour, is either these small businesses are going to have to hire less people, go down the AI route, or just don't hire people at all and they just go out of business. Like, they can't afford $30 minimum wage, but they can't afford the federal state. They can't afford the federal minimum wage. They can't afford that. They can afford the state one too, but $30, man, that's crazy. I mean, like I said, we got small businesses here and they pay about 10, and that's the minimum wage in Ohio.
In over a longer period of time for small business owners to ensure that they could deal with this.
And let's be real, minimum wage, I mean, these minimum wage jobs is meant for like teenagers and kids that live with their parents or college students. Like, no grown ass adult is expected to make a living working at McDonald's or retail. Like, let's be honest.
Zoran, stop dealing with fantasy and start dealing with reality.
Zoran does have socialist theory colliding with practical reality.
Monet Ukwe-Barua from the Wall Street Journal editorial board joins me now. Monet, look, we could sit here and talk about whether a $30 minimum wage is reality. I don't think it is. I don't think that's the important question this morning. The important question, did those two candidates do enough damage to Zohran Mamdani to make any impact on the election? Or
Probably not.
Is this basically a fait accompli at this point?
Well, there's no doubt that they did damage. I think that Andrew Cuomo had the temperature turned up on his attacks on Mamdani for the first time in the debate. You saw him reiterating critiques of Mamdani's lack of experience, his friendliness with Hamas and radical Islam in Gaza. And those were really having Mamdani rattled. He's usually very slick, but he seemed to be a little bit uncomfortable. Very same thing with Curtis Sliwa. The question is it too late now? A lot of New Yorkers are about to start voting. Mamdani has a very big lead in the polls, and so it doesn't seem as if there's enough time to close the gap, even though a lot of people are starting to see.
Hold on. Are y'all, hold on. First off, somebody said, well, PA's minimum wage is $7.25, bro. Like, bro, I was talking about $10.25 in Ohio. I said Ohio at the end of it, bro. Make it make sense. Like, dog, pay attention. Somebody said, but this was hilarious though. Like I said, sometimes I catch y'all, but somebody said black men like S.E.T are the same ones who sold their people to slavery. Dog, you're the same one who sold your whole family into poverty. You're the same people that allowed the Democratic Party to sell your people into gang violence, into drug abuse, into homelessness. That's you, buddy.
Downsides of Mamdani's campaign.
Yeah, I think that's a concern. And there's also this notion out there like, okay, let's say Slee would die.
And shout out to my man Chase for starting us off. He said the TDS is wild at this time of the day. 3M is better. Yeah, hey man, what can I say, man? People come on here and they have no good argument. I mean, I just gave a good spiel on why it's not good to raise the minimum wage, and people did not have a good argument for me. They wanted to say, you said, I bet you would sell your people into slavery. Nigga, because I told you why it's bad to raise minimum wage on small businesses that y'all say y'all care about. It's like, bro, you're not operating with common sense at a certain point. You're operating with too much TDS. It's like y'all are that delusional about Trump to sit there and get mad about me explaining to you why it's bad to raise minimum wage. Like, anybody could tell you this is really common sense. Like, bro, go ask your small business and ask them, Why don't y'all go out there and ask them, can you afford $30 an hour for everybody in here? They'll tell you hell nah.
Does drop out, is every single Sliwa person going to then vote for Cuomo? And I think the answer to that is a no, right?
Without a doubt. I mean, first of all, Curtis Sliwa is not dropping out. He has said very firmly, only way I'm getting out of this race is in a pine box. So he's in it until the end. But I do think a lot of his supporters are Republicans who don't like Andrew Cuomo, think he was a bad governor, think that he led to deaths of people during COVID, and they would rather stay home than vote for Andrew Cuomo, even if Sliwa wasn't on the ballot.
Let's go across the river to New Jersey in the gubernatorial race there. Candidates holding dueling rallies today. But it's not really about the rallies. It's about, I don't know, this odd video from the Democrat gubernatorial candidate, Mikey Sherrill. Watch.
Hola, Nueva Jersey. Mi español no es muy bueno, pero quiero hablar directamente a la comunidad latina. Soy Mikey Sherrill, candidata por gobernadora.
Oh, no.
I mean, if I'm I'm not even going to grill her too hard. I ain't going to grill her too hard because for all you know, a lot of people in her district are Latino. So it is what it is. Like a lot of people in her area might be Latinos, and it's pretty, it's pretty respectful to, learn Spanish if majority of everybody's Latino. But it's also respectful if Latinos will come over here and learn English so you don't got to speak to them in Spanish. That would also be pretty respectful.
Every cycle, we see this inauthentic outreach from a Democrat. Remember Jill Biden and breakfast tacos? Why do they continue to do this? Why don't they learn their lessons?
Well, it's incredible because you just look at the counterexample, which is Donald Trump increasing his vote share among Hispanics by a massive amount in 2024. And he didn't do that by recording videos in the Spanish language. He did that by saying, I'm going to lower your taxes. I'm going to get you a better job. I'm going to do the things that your family actually cares about. You see a lot of Democrats thinking I have to appeal on an identity basis, and that's going to be the ticket. But
that's all they can do is try to appeal on identity basis or try to shame you on an identity basis. Look at the libs in the chat that's trying to bring up, oh, well, you're black and you're this. Isn't that kind of crazy how you kind of see black people as a monolith, how we're just supposed to be on your guy's side? Like, isn't that kind of, I'm gonna be real with you, that's very restrictive thinking. Like, that's not a free thinking person if you pretty much expect me just to be on your side. You're pretty much saying I can't freely think for myself or else I'm against my own people. Bro, I tell you, bro, there's one thing that's going extinct out here in America, and that is the free, straight thinking man. What's going more extinct is the free, straight thinking black man. But free thinking straight men are going extinct in general. It's just a sad thing that's going on.
Actually losing share among a lot of minority voters in New Jersey. And I think that they're getting desperate, and this shows that.
Yeah, Trump's not physically on the ballot, but let's face it, Trump's always on the ballot. Listen to this. A Rutgers Eagleton poll showing 52% of likely New Jersey voters view Trump as a major factor in their vote. But it doesn't say how that breaks down. So how do you think that plays? Do you think that gives the edge to Chitterelli turning out the vote because Trump says, I want you to vote for my guy?
All right, go. Let's go ahead and get over to the left side of the meeting. Let's see what they got to say about this. Hey, actually, what's so crazy? Everybody in the chat say he only watches his Fox. I'm like, dog, I watch MSNBC, CNN, ABC. I watch all of them. Look, I know it's your first time here, but sit down, relax, and enjoy the show. You might learn something.
You have never had a job. You've never accomplished anything. There's no reason to believe you have any merit or qualification for 8.5 million lives.
We just had a former governor say in his own words that the city has been getting screwed by the state. Who was leading the state? It was you.
Governor
You were leading the state for
Governor
10 years,
Hochul.
screwing the city.
No, Joran, your resume could fit on a cocktail napkin. And Andrew, your failures could fill a public school library in New York City.
Damn.
That was the last time that Democrat Zohran Mamdani.
Yeah, I'm going to have to react to that one later on tonight. That sounds hilarious. It sounds like they were just roasting each other.
Independent Andrew Cuomo and the
That's how
Republican
those last
candidate
debates always
Curtis
get.
Sliwa will share the debate stage before New York City's mayoral election, which is in 13 days from now. With President Trump's influence hanging over the Big Apple, Mamdani and Cuomo both squared off on how they would deal with him.
Donald Trump ran on 3 promises. He ran on creating the single largest deportation force in American history. He ran on going after his political enemies, and he ran on lowering the cost of living. If he wants to talk to me about the 3rd piece of that agenda, I will always be ready and willing. But if he wants to talk about how to pursue the 1st and 2nd piece of that agenda at the expense of New Yorkers, I will fight him every single step of the way.
Donald Trump, I believe, wants Mamdani. That is his dream, because he will use him politically all across the country, and he will take over New York City. Make no mistake. It will be President Trump and Mayor Trump, and he will come in and take over the city.
Joining me tonight is longtime political journalist Andrew Kurtzman, who is the author of Giuliani, The Rise and Tragic Fall of America's Mayor. And you've been covering this race. I wonder what you made of tonight's moment on the debate stage, which was a big one, a big final one before this race.
Sure. Well, this race has been about Zoran Mamdani for months now. And tonight, Andrew Cuomo, who has had kind of a listless, joyless campaign for much of this year, kind of woke up and, went in there trying to kind of knock Mamdani off of his pedestal, and was extremely effective, surprisingly so, because Mamdani is...
No, I mean, actually, shout out to Sweela, because, that's his last... Yeah, Sweela, I believe. But, yeah, even in the last debate, he came out hot. He came out with the jokes, and, I mean, he came out more charismatic than Cuomo, I'll tell you that. I mean, Mamdani always comes out charismatic, but he started hitting everybody with the jokes, and I'll be real with you, bro got jokes. He is actually kind of funny. I'll be real. I mean, maybe he's just the New Yorker in him, but bro is actually pretty funny. So shout out to him.
Such an extraordinary communicator. He's a terrific debater. He's always on message. He's disciplined. I mean, Mamdani is a phenomenon. But tonight he had 2 opponents who were in top form, and they were so effective in kind of reducing him that at one point they were both laughing at him from left and right. It was really kind of painful. And Mamdani has, been almost flawless up until tonight. And this was, for Cuomo and Curtis Sliwa, this is a good night for Mamdani to kind of not be so on.
That's a notable takeaway, given obviously as we've been covering this, watching the other debate. We have a picture, I believe, tonight of Andrew Cuomo at the Knicks game. As you can see here, that we are going to show everyone what he's been up to and what he's been doing in the moments since that debate happened. He's sitting next to Eric Adams there, as you can see here, as we were watching this. This was tweeted from the Andrew Cuomo account. When it comes to what we're watching, there was a moment on the debate stage where Andrew Cuomo was facing questions from Curtis Sliwa and Mamdani on the harassment allegations from his time as governor that ended it. I want everyone to listen to that moment.
Do you ever know that no means no? You know what no means?
One of those women, Charlotte Bennett, is here in the audience this evening.
Oh, shit.
What do you say to the 13 women that you sexually harassed?
Damn.
If you want to be in government...
Nah, I ain't gonna lie to. What was I think it was Sweela Silva. So I forgot that man's name or how to pronounce it, but it was him who said, "Now Cuomo, all 16 are lying." Cuomo, really? All 16 are lying about you sexually assaulting them? I was like, damn. And that's why I said I don't even know why Cuomo is running sometimes. I'm just like, dog. Boy, there's just too much dirt on him. There's too much dirt. He had a long history in politics, and he got all the dirt in the world on him. I mean, from failed policies to scandals. I think he should have just stepped down, in my honest opinion. He should have been the one stepping down, not Curtis.
Government, then you have to be serious and mature. There were allegations of sexual harassment. They went to 5 district attorneys, fully litigated for 4 years. The cases were dropped, right? You know that as a fact. So everything you just said was a misstatement, which we're accustomed to from you.
Stated was a misstatement?
Yes, because the cases were dropped. That's what happened.
So Mamdani brought one of the Cuomo accusers there tonight to the debate. I wonder what you made of how that played out on the stage.
Damn. Oh, wow. He pulled a Trump, because isn't that what Trump did to Bill Clinton? Or no, Trump did that to Hillary Clinton. Yeah, that's hey. Start bringing up some of the victims of Bill Clinton up to the front and had them make Hillary look at him. That was wild.
Right. Well, Cuomo, first of all, it was an interesting tactic, and probably something that did rattle Cuomo. I mean, Cuomo has had a very hard time kind of dealing with that issue. And, you know, it's hard to spin. He was forced to resign in a sexual harassment scandal. And, you know, he's tried every which way to kind of frame it as something that was, you know, way overblown. He was exonerated by several district attorneys who decided not to press charges. And that's his term, not, you know, not mine. And but it's very, very hard to get out of that thing. And Mamdani was a positively lacerating. I mean, Mamdani is a very, very talented debater. As you can see, he did a very, very good job. And
I don't be real. It don't take much talent to debate Cuomo, especially with his history and his past. I mean, bro, he kind of cooks himself.
You know, what you do in a debate like this is you try to kind of deal with it as quickly as possible and change the subject. And, you know, as much as he could, Cuomo, you know, did as best as he could tonight.
Well, and on one front, you know, in terms of the administration and how they would deal with President Trump, we saw ICE today arresting people in downtown Manhattan today and yesterday, I believe. And that was a question that they got asked about tonight, is how would they handle Trump's deportation efforts? And this is what Andrew Cuomo had to say.
I've had a lot of dealings with President Trump. And there's only one way to deal with him. He puts his finger in your chest, and you have to put your finger right back in his chest. You don't send ICE in without coordinating with our police. It's not smart, it's duplicative, and it's dangerous. I would have called the president, and I would have said, look, you're way out of bounds, they're way out of bounds, call them back, or I'm going to have the NYPD step in and stop them.
What did you make of that answer?
Look, I mean, Mamdani is so good at kind of framing answers in a crisp, memorable way that it often leads Cuomo to kind of occupy the muddled middle, right? So Mamdani has been extremely anti-Trump. You know, one of the reasons for his success, it's kind of given voice for the frustration of so many New Yorkers who just hate Trump and don't feel like the Democratic leaders have really been, you know, fiery enough. And it leads Cuomo to be like, well, you know, I could call Trump and Trump will listen to me and, you know, Trump won't, you know, say, you know, trample over me. But it's Mamdani on Trump who I think resonates more.
Andrew Kurtzman, it's always great to have you here on the show. Thank you for watching the debate and giving us.
All right, now let's get over here to Mike Johnson. On, of course, CNN. Don't worry, we're going to keep it over here on the left.
My next source is a powerful Republican voice who has been pushing for Russia sanctions to happen. House Speaker Mike Johnson joins me now. Thank you so much for being here, Speaker Johnson, because you had said before that you thought sanctions on Russia were long overdue, in your words. Do you think that these moves tonight go far enough?
Well, it's a very important step. We applaud the president. He's returning peace through strength, and that's a common theme now that we've seen exhibited around the globe, the strength of his personality. You heard the UN Secretary General, who you caught earlier this afternoon. He said in his own words, President Trump is the only figure on the planet strong enough to help bring an end to that war. And you have to compel Russia to engage in the peace process. They've shown they cannot be trusted. There's a big appetite in Congress to have sanctions like this, and I think it's a very important step.
And of course, right now we're here on Capitol Hill. The government shutdown is very much still underway. One question I think a lot of people have tonight is how long they should be prepared for this to go on for. In your view, do you think the American people should be prepared for this shutdown to last into November?
Second longest to shut down. So in what, we're at day 22, 23 of the Schumer shutdown.
You know, the only person who can answer that question is Chuck Schumer and his Democrat colleagues in the Senate. They've now voted a dozen times to keep the government closed. And this is really important, Caitlin. Today, there was a big development on Capitol Hill that the second highest ranked House Democrat in leadership, Whip Catherine Clark, admitted openly that they have shut the government down and that they are using hardworking American families as leverage for what? So that they can show a fight against Trump and also so that they can restore $200 billion in free health care paid for by U.S. taxpayers to illegal aliens. Yes, that's in their bill. And it's just part of the $1.5 trillion that they have demanded to spend. We're not going to do that. They know we're not going to do that. And she said in her own words today, quote, "We know that families will suffer, but this is only one of only the leverage times that we have." She said that in her own words, and it was pretty shocking today to hear them say that. They usually don't say the quiet parts out loud.
You're saying Democrats are making that argument, talking about what Catherine Clark said today. I do want you to listen. We've heard an argument similar to that one before.
Why shouldn't we be trying to force this government shutdown fight to get something out of it that's good for the American people?
How else are you going to get moderates to vote for spending cuts if they're not up against the fact that they need to pass these things to get out of a shutdown themselves?
A lot of good can come down from shutdowns.
That was the president just the other day, but Russ Vought and J.D. Vance before. I mean, some people might look at that and say, well, how is what Democrats are doing now different than what Republicans have argued before?
It's very different. Those were different times and different circumstances. Let me explain why. This is the first time in history that any party has chosen to close the government down on a clean CR. In previous shutdown battles, you had a lot of different competing priorities, and you had the party who was engaging in the shutdown making demands and adding their partisan priorities to the CR itself. We didn't do that, Caitlin. We have a totally clean, totally nonpartisan, good faith CR. We passed it 33 days ago, and they have kept the government shut down because they refused to do it. It's the first.
Yep. And the problem is, like I said, and when Trump shut down the government, it was the Republicans who refused to sign the CR bill because they wanted funding for the wall. Now it's the Dems who are holding up the CR bill, so it's their fault. It's why we call it the Schumer shutdown, because they're the ones demanding for $1.5 trillion in Medicaid spending. And here's the thing: you could agree with that or not, but it doesn't matter what you think or if you agree or not. It's still their fault as a demanding party. You can sit there and say S.E.T, but it's for health care, so that makes it the Republican. No, it doesn't. No, not at all. Because the Republicans, I mean, our healthcare system is still being funded. So no, it's not about that. Like, let's be honest here. But hey, maybe you need to ask your Dems on why they need $1.5 trillion for Medicaid spending. Because trust me, it's not for the American people. It's mainly for, I would say pharmaceutical companies and healthcare companies, and then of course the illegal immigrants. At least 200 billion of it.
Time this has ever happened in history, and it's very audacious. We don't know when the end of this is. Only the Democrats in the Senate can answer that question. And I pray that there's at least 5 centrist Democrats left who will give up this gambit.
And we need at least 5. We need at least 5 Democrat votes, because the Democrats like to sit there, and I don't know why, but it's like a bald-faced lie, and to say we have like control of the House and the Senate as if we just have complete control. We don't need you guys, as if we're just fighting amongst ourselves and trying to blame you guys. And that's just not true. Like, we do need some of you guys to be sensible Dems, break away from your radical left side of the party, and come over and vote on this CR bill so we can get the government back open. And then we can go ahead and talk about and negotiate on health care.
Do the right thing and get the government open, because real people really are suffering because of this.
Republican Senator Tommy Tuberville said that if he thinks if President Trump got involved here, he could move this. We heard the similar sentiment from Jeff Van Drew, the Republican House member. He said we absolutely need the president involved. If we're hearing Republicans saying that, and even Democrats like Chuck Schumer saying that Trump's got to get involved, shouldn't the president be directly involved here?
The president was directly involved. Remember, before this whole thing began, a few days before the shutdown began and that deadline hit us, the president invited Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries into the Oval Office. I was there. Leader John Thune was there in the Senate. And the president tried to negotiate with them. He tried to appeal to their common sense and ask them to do the right thing. And he was rebuffed. So the president has said he's anxious and willing to sit down with them and talk about any issue under the sun, but they have to reopen the government first and not hold the American people hostage.
Yeah, because we thought it was about the Obama healthcare subsidies, and we thought that he just wanted insurance that it was going to be extended. So the Republicans offered them a 1-year extension. Then, well, the Dems moved the goalposts. Now they want it to be permanent. And then, of course, their second act is that $1.5 trillion, or the reverse of Trump's Medicaid cuts, with an additional $150 billion in spending.
Because, Caitlin, that's what's happening right now. You have troops on the verge of not being paid. You have air traffic controllers who are not being paid, Border Patrol agents, TSA agents. You have nutrition services to people in need. You have Veterans Health Services. All these things are suspended because the Democrats are playing games right now, and it's a really dangerous thing to do.
We heard from one of your members today, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who wrote this morning that on y'all's GOP conference call, she said Speaker Johnson said he has ideas and pages of policy, but did not say a single policy plan. She said, I find it unacceptable that Republicans are sitting on the sidelines doing nothing to fix this healthcare disaster that is leading many Americans into financial ruin. That's her words. She says you're sitting on the sidelines. What's your response to Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Well, bless her heart.
Honestly, I would say bless her heart as well, because she's coming from a good spot. I mean, we hear you guys when it comes to healthcare. We don't want healthcare prices to triple or double, but I mean, here's what the Dems are telling you: even if we pass these Obamacare enhanced healthcare subsidies, your healthcare will still go up about 15-30%. Still, even if we pass them. Why? Because, well, Obamacare is failed. Okay, it's not actually doing what it was supposed to do. The Affordable Health Care Act failed, because even with the healthcare subsidies that we're giving to y'all, they're still gonna go up 15-30%. Still.
That's an absurd statement. Obviously, these conference calls are monitored by media, so we're not going to have actual strategy discussions on a line where you have hundreds of people listening in, because it would be reported on the front page. We have been working on this for a long time. We worked on it today. We've been working on it every day. Marjorie is not here in Washington. She's not on the committees of jurisdiction, and she's not involved in those specific discussions, but she will be soon, because they'll be related to all the House Republicans. This was always going to be a discussion and a debate that was going to be held in bipartisan fashion, by the way, in the month of October and November. We know that the end of the year is the end of those COVID-era subsidies, and there's real reforms that have to be made if they're going to be extended. The Democrats knew that, the Republicans knew that, and it was always on the table for discussion. They have made that a red herring issue.
So basically, they didn't really want to negotiate about Obamacare subsidies. They didn't want to try to reform it or nothing. They just wanted to make the current subsidies permanent. They didn't want a one-year extension. No, we want to make those subsidies permanent so you guys can't do nothing with it. That's negotiating, and that's trying to reform them. And that's the problem. The Democrats keep running with failing plans. Like, obviously, Obamacare failed. Obviously, running women failed. Obviously, letting crime proliferate in your city fails. Like, why do y'all keep going with failing plans?
For now, again, because they wanted to show a fight against Trump. This is purely about Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries in New York trying to avoid a challenge from a Marxist candidate in their next re-election cycles. 100%. That's why they're doing a 180-degree turn and doing exactly the opposite of what they did as recently as March of this year.
Speaker, she's saying that the Republicans aren't doing anything to address the health care issue here that Democrats are arguing about. Are you saying that there is a Republican plan and you're just not talking about it?
No, I'm saying there's lots of discussion about it, but we don't relay it on a conference call with hundreds of people listening in. We have many ideas on how to bring down the cost of health care, to continue to do that, and we've already demonstrated.
I mean, think about how is this affordable health care if even with the subsidies, guys, your health care premium will still go up. It's still going to go up 15-30%. And it's been proven, and it's already been verified by the experts. Without it, you're right, it's going to double, possibly triple. But with it, it's still going to go up. So to kind of let you know, it's a failed system. I'm not sure why the Dems are hanging on to it. And I don't even know why I don't want to even try to reform it, but it is what it is. I mean, the last time Obamacare was reformed in any way, shape, or form was under Trump. And he low-key did good. He did good with reforming Obamacare because it was screwing a lot of people, like especially that individual mandate.
In the working families tax cut, we had real reforms to Medicaid that you and I have discussed that have brought down the cost and saved about $185 billion for taxpayers and made the program stronger for the people that actually rely upon them, because we got ineligible enrollees off the program. We have many ideas like that to bring down the cost of health care and increase access and quality of care. And all that will be rolled out in the days ahead. We have plenty of time to do it. It was always going to be done at the last quarter of the year, and that's what we're waiting on. And that's why we need the Democrats in the Senate to stop this crazy gambit, do the right thing, and reopen the government so we can finish all that work.
But if you have ideas and you have,
you know what the craziest lie was that the Dems told when they said, oh, well, you're going to go ahead and get your letter in November, and it's going to show you how high your premiums is going to go up. And then here's the thing, the common sense that it didn't take with that is like, okay, so November they're low-key adding in the Obamacare enhanced healthcare subsidy. They're already adding in those. And if it's still going up, that kind of proves what I was saying, that, yeah, your healthcare insurance is even telling you that even with the Obamacare subsidies, your healthcare is still going to go up about 15%. Your healthcare premiums will still go up about 15%, even with them. So they basically snitched on themselves. But I don't know why, their old base don't really listen to them like attentively for some reason. Y'all don't listen to them hard enough.
Why not have that out there to talk about in the public so the people can hear that debate happening? I mean, you could have committees in session right now.
They will, Caitlin.
Talking about this. I think the question is
yeah,
maybe
we need to get back to regular session so we can. No, we're not going to allow Chuck Schumer to play selfish political games and hold the American people hostage. We will not negotiate with legislative terrorists. We're not going to let them do that. We can't. We owe it to the people to get this government operating again. Republicans have now voted 12 or 13 times, counting the House and Senate, 13 times to open the government, and the Democrats have voted 13 times to close it down. It is wrong. There is no reason for it, and they can't even tell you tonight what it is they're demanding.
Yeah.
Except for $1.5 trillion in new spending, $200 billion for illegal aliens to get health care.
I know, because they lost the healthcare subsidies debate because that didn't make any sense. So they have to switch over to the $1.5 trillion in healthcare spending, and they can't even tell you really why they need that. I mean, well, why do we need more Medicaid spending when we have less people on Medicaid? I mean, and it's not because of the big beautiful bill. I mean, no, in 2019 we had 71.5 million people on Medicaid, but we covered all of them with about $615 billion. Now, I know inflation happened, but inflation wasn't that bad to where we had to go to 600 to 1.2 trillion. Like, it wasn't that bad now. So please tell me how we need more money for less people. Like, make that make sense.
Want to send billions of dollars overseas.
Oh, and if you don't know how much people are on Medicaid now, it's about 70 million. So about 1.5 million less from 2019 over the past 4 years.
For wasteful foreign aid programs and all sorts of other stuff.
And we've gone back and forth on, you and I have on what Democrats want here and whether or not that's health care for people who are in the country illegally, obviously. But I think the question is on the health care plan, to Marjorie Taylor Greene's point, is if the government reopened tonight, would Republicans have a plan to address the Obamacare subsidies?
Yes.
You would have a
we
plan
do. We
tonight.
have proposals to, we could have that ready immediately. Yes. Yeah, because here's the thing. We work in a deliberative public body, and we have hundreds of members. It's a very complicated, very complex issue that requires a long time to build consensus around. We have ideas on the table, and the whole process of the legislative.
I mean, guys, you can easily Google ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Perplexity. I mean, you could Google all of this, is what I'm telling you, like right now, if you want to. I mean, you guys are asking me to cite sources in the middle of a show. Like, don't be rude now. I mean, everything I told you guys can go Google right now. That's how easy it is. That's how easy I make it for you guys. Like, no, literally just take what I'm saying, put it in the Google search bar, and it'll pull right up for you.
Body is to build consensus around it. That's why we have to do that, and that's what we've been planning to do all along. It was never possible or appropriate to have this decided on.
Man, y'all is lazy sometimes, I swear.
A CR, a simple stopgap funding measure for 7 weeks, a clean continuing resolution. The Democrats know that, and they are not being truthful about it. And take Whip Clark's words for it. They shut the government down, and they're using hardware.
Like, honestly, what source do I like? Think about it like this. When somebody asks me for a source on, oh, well, how do you know that the Republicans don't have a full control of the Senate? Are you serious? Like, bro, us.gov. Like, bro, whitehouse.gov. Like, bro, really? Like, come on now. And it is like, that's what I'm saying. It's those arguments that when you don't have an answer back from, you want to talk about cite sources, when I'm just like, that's probably the dumbest thing you can say back to somebody. Bro, Google it. Google it. Is that actually true? ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Perplexity. I mean, there's so many places you can go. Don't be lazy now.
Working American families who she says will suffer, and they know it, as leverage for this political game.
Because believe it or not, I'm not getting this from CNN or Fox News. Believe it or not, I'm not listening to them all the way through. I go look this up myself. Believe it or not. So you guys thinking I'm just saying it because Fox News says it. Well, Fox News tells the truth sometimes. CNN tells the truth sometimes. They all tell the truth sometimes, and they all lie sometimes. This is something you got to realize when you're dealing with news. All of it's propaganda, and it's meant to steer you in a certain direction. I mean, if you don't understand that, then, I mean, who are you to talk to me?
If it takes a long time to build consensus, why not bring the House back to talk about the plan that you say you have to fix health care?
because the House has done its job. The House passed the CR. We did it over a month ago. And we need Chuck Schumer and the Democrats to do what they have always done. They did it 13 times during the Biden administration, 13 times. And Chuck Schumer did it most recently 7 or 8 months ago in March of this year. And he gave an impassioned speech on the floor and said, that's the only possible outcome. You could never possibly shut the government down because it would be dangerous and it would hurt real Americans. Well, he was right then. He is not being honest now.
We've spoken to Democrats about their past statements, but I think some people might listen to that and say.
And here's the thing: a lot of people would want us to use the nuclear option, but I do see that the Republicans are afraid of the nuclear option because one, y'all just gonna call us authoritarian. Like, really think about that. Really think about how much you guys are gonna bitch if we just sit there and like, all right, cool, we'll just use the nuclear option. We'll kill the filibuster. We'll destroy the filibuster, and then we'll just go ahead and move past you guys. You're gonna say that we're a fascist, dictator, authoritarian. Just because we didn't include you guys in the argument. We're trying to be an actual fucking democracy here. And there's people in the chat that's going, what about the nuclear? They can end it right now. Do you not want a democracy or not? Like, do you not want the Dems to be included in the conversation or not? Like, I thought you were trying to flame the Republicans as authoritarian and fascist, but they're over here trying to let the Dems get a say in this because they don't have to. They don't. You're right. But they are. It kind of shows that they're testament to democracy that you guys honestly lack.
Yes, the House passed the CR,
bruh.
but then you left town and the House could come back
Don't even know when somebody doing y'all a favor.
and work on these other issues while the Senate deals with how they're trying to reopen the government. No?
No, well, it would allow Chuck Schumer and the Democrats more time to impose more pain on the American people. We've done our work. Right now, the House Republicans are in their districts doing extraordinarily important work by helping their constituents navigate the chaos that is being created by the Democrats' shutdown. They're trying to help their rural hospitals access the funds that we got signed into law July 4th before the Democrats try to claw it back. That's one of their counter proposals as well. $50 billion they want to pull from rural hospitals. It would hurt a lot of Americans. And they're trying to help small business owners and young women who rely on the Women, Infants, and Children nutrition programs. They're trying to help their veterans who can't access health services right now, and constituents who have all sorts of problems because all these federal programs have been shut down because of these political games. That's what the House Republicans.
Oh, look, all right, cool. You know what? I'm seeing some people in the chat, and look, if they use the nuclear option, if they go ahead and kill filibustering, I don't want to hear no Dems complain. I don't want to hear no Dems complain at all. I don't want to hear one of y'all complain, not one bit. Because, I mean, don't even call us a fascist regime or authoritarian because y'all literally are asking us to push past y'all. Don't even worry about y'all no more. Don't debate with y'all. Just push past y'all and get what we want. I mean, if that's what y'all want us to do, I mean, F it. F it. It is what it is. I wanted it to be a democracy. And I'm pretty sure the Republicans wanted to be like that too. But y'all, apparently not.
They're doing right now. They're working for their constituents. And that's really, really valuable stuff right now.
Yeah, and House Democrats will argue, well, we wanted more in funding for the rural hospitals, $137 billion, I believe. But can I ask you, Speaker Johnson?
Well, then why do they want to claw it back? Why did they file a counter proposal to claw the money back? You should be asking them these tough questions because it's serious stuff.
One thing that obviously you've been pressed on many times is swearing in new members of Congress. And when it comes to swearing in Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva of Arizona, you have said that you're following the Pelosi precedent and not swearing her in. I think some people might hear that and say, since when do you want to be like Nancy Pelosi?
I don't. I'm following standard practice here. And I've explained this many, many times. We are happy to administer the oath to Rep-elect Grijalva as soon as we get back to legislative session. And the reason I cite Nancy Pelosi is because she was Speaker for a long time, and she did this multiple times, the same thing. Julia Letlow from Louisiana, in similar circumstances, was elected to fill the seat of her late husband who passed away because of COVID. Nancy Pelosi waited 25 days to administer the oath of office to her. Pat Ryan and Joe Simpolinski were elected during an August recess period. So Nancy Pelosi waited 21 days until the House returned to legislative session to administer the oath to those new members. I'm doing exactly the same thing for Rep-elect Grijalva. And in the meantime, she can be serving her constituents and trying to help them through this chaos, just like the House Republicans are doing. She has 16 employees. She now has her phones and computers set up. She can be doing that, directing casework and sending them to get help, even to her two senators who have lots of extra time, because Senator Mark Kelly and Gallegos are running around the halls of Capitol Hill right now doing TikTok videos. They're staging publicity stunts outside my office. They should be helping Rep. Grijalva-elect help her constituents in Arizona. I wish they'd serve them a little better.
She has said that she was interested in meeting with you and sitting down with you. Is that something that you'd be willing to do? We're going to have her coming up on the show in just a few moments.
I'm always open to meet with any member of the House. I'm the Speaker of the House, and we'll do that. I've been a little busy. I'm working about 22-hour days right now. But I would like for her to do important work and engage in that as soon as possible. We've tried to, my staff's working with hers, trying to get them up and running, and we're doing everything we do for any new rep-elect in a special election. All of this is totally and completely the standard practice of the House.
If you would like for her to do her work, I think some people might hear that and say, well, if she was sworn in, she'd be able to do all of her work.
The only thing she can't do right now is vote on the floor because no one is, because we're not in legislative session. That's the only thing she's prevented from doing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of important casework to be done by her constituents who need help and need guidance right now, and she could be on the phone all day long, as the rest of us are, trying to help her constituents navigate through it. It's a bit of a red herring for her to say there's nothing for her to do. Maybe the House Democrat leaders need to give her a little guidance on that as a new member and help her understand the many ways.
I mean, you could always go back and, make sure your constituents are doing well instead of crying in the White House about how you're not sworn in yet. I mean, you did get hired to do a job. Like, I understand you're supposed to be in the White House, doing that as well, but you also are supposed to be taking care of your constituents. Like, there's plenty for you to do.
That she should be serving her folks right now.
Where they said
House
that.
Speaker Mike Johnson, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks so much.
Huh. Kind of crazy how you got to sit there and ask Dems to do their job. Like, I mean, there's other things to do besides, cry against Trump. You know that, right? Like, there's other things you could do besides cry against Trump, Dems. Like, definitely other things you could do. Like, it is kind of crazy how all they could do is sit there and just complain about this man Trump and act like children in the White House.
We're showing you video at the bottom right of your screen of the historic demolition of the White House East Wing, the entire thing. This was from earlier today. It's happening with the federal government shut down, about to enter day number 20.
See, I'm like literally clutching pearls over the remodeling of a White House to have a ballroom, a nice ballroom, clutching pearls over it. Okay, cannot be me.
3 with no end in sight. Thousands of federal employees will not receive their regular paychecks on Friday. On Capitol Hill, both sides holding on to their positions. Republicans demanding a yes vote to reopen the government and say discussions on health care subsidies can then get underway. Democrats still say no. They first want a plan in place to extend those subsidies. Tonight, President Trump says a deal can happen.
We have a great support on the Republican side. So I think we need 5 Democrats, and there are a lot of them that want to make a deal. So I think at some point, common sense will prevail.
A lot to talk about tonight with Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. His new book is Fight Oligarchy. Senator Sanders, appreciate you being with us. We are going to show images on the screen of the East Wing being ripped apart from earlier today, torn down. What do you think when you see it?
No, I'm going to do something for you guys. For the haters in the chat, I want to see if you guys really got any cojones, okay? So let's see. But all right, I'm going to go ahead and drop the call-in link, right? And I will give you guys, I'll give each guy 5 to 10 minutes to come up here and debate me on whatever topic you want. We can go ahead, we see here, we can have that back and forth. And hopefully you guys got the cojones to do so instead of just sitting there being a keyboard warrior in the chat. I mean, and of course, Chase and all the other mods, you guys are also able to come up as well if anybody want to debate them. It's like, let's just go ahead and have an open mic session because I'm hearing some stuff and I'm just wondering, I'm like, we gotta come up here and say that and sound this stupid, in front of 400 people. Let's see. I want to see. Show me something.
I think, the White House is an historic building. It goes way, way back. And, I'm not impressed by the destruction of a significant part of it, to be honest with you.
You've railed against Mel.
All right. StreamYard link posted. It is in the post tab on my main page between the playlist and the membership tab right there, post tab. All right.
Oligarchs, your new book is Fight the Oligarchy. This is for a ballroom being built so the president of the United States can, entertain world leaders and entertain. It's being built, I guess, with
fellow oligarchs. Look, and what our book was about, Anderson, is a very simple one, and it's a reality that I hope the American people are prepared to deal with, because it's not easy. It's easy to call Russia an oligarchy.
Oh, and FBA blacks don't deserve reparations. I'll be willing to take that debate on as well.
Putin's one of the richest guys in the world, and his friends, billionaires, run Russia. But guess what's happening in America? Today in our country, and this is what the book is about, we have more income and wealth inequality than we've ever had. You got one guy, Mr. Musk, owning more wealth than the bottom 52% of American households. You got more concentration of ownership than we've ever had in the history of this country. You have billionaires controlling our corrupt political system. Billionaires putting huge amounts of money into both political parties. Mr. Musk contributing $270 million to help elect Trump.
I know. So it's kind of funny, how people doubt that Trump's getting private investors to put in on this $230 million ballroom. Well, ballroom cost rise to $300 million. Hey, he got private investors. I mean, he know billionaires. What can I say? We're also talking about a man who was able to shell out $400 million out of his bank account when they found him guilty for, what was it? Mortgage fraud that he won in appeals, and he got his $400 million back. But we're talking about the man that had $400 million just to give out of his bank account. Trust me, Trump ain't strapped for cash, and getting $300 million from his friends and, donors, not a hard task for that man, Trump. Not at all. Oh, and one of my positions was, oh yes, FBA blacks do not deserve reparations. Nope, not one bit, not $1, not $1.
As president, you have more and more billionaire control over the media, mainstream media, as I am sure you are well aware, Anderson. Mr. Ellison, who now owns Paramount and CBS, is in line to.
Oh, and if you don't know about Trump's fraud case, remember, they try to say he defrauded a bank and he overvalued the price of his house. Now, they tried to say the bank was a victim, but the bank said, no, we're not a victim. One, he paid back a loan on time. We always do good business with Trump. And then you're trying to say that he, overvalued his, they try to say he overvalued his Mar-a-Lago. And they try to say it was 18 million. When a smaller house down the road from Trump's, a smaller house with less land is worth 24 million. But for some reason, Trump's house that is bigger and got more land to it is only worth 18. Like, bro, you Dems are hilarious. And that's why I went to appeals, and that's why Trump won in appeals, and he got his 400 million back. I mean, shout out Trump.
Maybe buy CNN, and we'll see. One of Trump's allies now owns more and more of the media. And then in the midst of all that, you have 60% of our people living paycheck to paycheck. The billionaires get richer. Working class people are struggling to put food on the table, to pay for healthcare, pay for education. That's what oligarchy is about. It's when a handful of incredibly wealthy people control the economy.
Or Bernie, a reckless government decides to print money so recklessly and just dump all this money into welfare and consumer spending and doesn't help create really any jobs with it at all. Yes, when you overinflate let's be real, when you inflate budgets, when you inflate the dollar by reckless printing and spending, what do you expect to happen? I mean, this doesn't have anything to do with oligarchies. This has everything to do with bad government spending, Bernie. It's not the oligarchy that I'm gonna be real with you. They're not making things unaffordable. It was reckless government spending. So it's kind of crazy how, bro, let's talk about the oligarchs as handling about $6 trillion in tax funding and ain't really doing too much for the American people with it, instead of talking about the people who making their own money. Let's talk about the people who receive our money.
Control the media, control the politics of a country. And sad to say, that is where we are heading. And that is why we have got to fight back, and why I was so excited on Saturday to see some 7 million people come out in the streets and say, Mr. President, we don't want an authoritarian society. We don't want to live in an oligarchy. We want a democracy. We want a government that works for all of us, not just a few.
When you say fight the oligarchy, what specifically, obviously the protest is part of it, what specifically do you want to see?
Right. Good.
Yeah, and also when you see also, what we have seen in Portland and Chicago, we saw there was some incident in New York, just I think it was yesterday or today. Do you see that as part of it? I mean, the huge increase in ICE and border
Absolutely.
patrol.
Look, it's not just that Trump is suing the media, suing law firms, going after universities, and now beginning the process of trying to put in jail his political opponents. You know, the Attorney General of the state of New York, the former head of the FBI, threatening to indict a member of the United States Senate, a colleague of mine. And then what you're seeing is masked men, ICE agents.
Honestly, all I can say to Bernie is when people like to sit there and be like, oh, he's going after his political opponent. Yeah, they went after him. What goes around comes around. What goes around comes around. And karma's a bitch. It is what it is. I mean, you guys literally can't complain because you literally sat there and let the Democrats run rampant all on social media with censorship. Y'all let them run rampant on the BS charges on Trump. And now y'all want to sit here and complain? I'm sorry, but if y'all shut the fuck up, then you can shut the fuck up now.
Running around the country, throwing people without any due process into vans, taking them to God knows where, in some cases, believe it or not, to South Sudan. When you see U.S. troops in cities like Portland or Chicago, this is what authoritarianism is about. It's more and more power going into the hands of one man. And I will tell you something that, you know, throughout the history of this country, from the extraordinarily courageous people back in the 1770s who had the guts to put their lives on the line and died by the thousands, taking on the authoritarianism of the King of England, you know, and then writing a constitution calling for separation of powers. And so many millions of American men and women fighting to defend democracy, the right of us to disagree with each other, and not throw political opponents in jail, not become a two-bit dictatorship. So that is where we are right now.
I mean, Bernie, you can't be talking because when people were disagreeing with liberals online under Biden, y'all was low-key throttling their engagement and and not only that, but banning them. So trust me, y'all can't talk about silencing people when that's all y'all did all 4 years of Biden. I mean, especially during COVID, let's not talk about silencing people now. Like, come on. I mean, people could even speak out against the vaccine without losing their account. Like, bruh, silencing? Really? Okay.
We need a political movement in this country to start taking on the oligarchy, to start electing candidates who are not worried about their campaign contributions from the billionaires, but are prepared to create an economy that works for all. You ask me specifically what we do. Well, right now, our healthcare system, totally broken. Everybody understands that. We need to do what every other major country on earth does, guarantee healthcare to all people as a human right.
But I mean, the healthcare system, like Obamacare, this is what y'all wanted, right? Now, I mean, at least y'all admit that Obamacare sucks. And let's be real, we all know there is heavy corruption in the healthcare industry. But when you guys say there's a healthcare crisis, I always ask you in what way? Because if you're telling me that, oh, people get denied for claims that they should have got, I mean, yeah, I'll agree with you all day on that. But if you're telling me that, oh, it's because the big, beautiful bill and hella people are getting dropped from Medicaid, I'm going to disagree with you on that one because that's just not true.
Our housing system broken all over the country. Go to any place, go to Vermont, go to New York City, go to any place, California. People cannot afford housing. Our kids may never be able to purchase their own home in the richest country in the history of the world. Our kids may well have a lower standard of living than their parents, while Mr. Musk and his billionaire.
And like I said, guys, you can always come up here and debate me on this. Like, the call-in link is open right on the main page in the post tab. You don't got to be a keyboard warrior. Just come on up. I'm a nice guy. Come on now. I ain't going to do you dirty. I'm going to treat you with respect. We're going to have a nice little conversation.
Friends get richer. So what do? We build 4 or 5 million units of low-income and affordable housing. We have the best.
I know y'all don't want to talk because you can't debate me because I'm right. I'm like, sweetheart, one of you in here is asking me for sources because you don't know nothing. Who are you to say anything? Like, you might want to calm down, sis, for a person that's asking me for sources that don't know nothing. And like I said, bro, your guys are just proving my point. And what people in the chat been saying about you, Dem, is that you won't debate. You'll sit there and be keyboard warriors with the insults because you can't debate in long form, because all of your points fall apart during debate. Every time I face you guys, falls apart instantly. And then y'all just end up looking stupid. But so I get it. Y'all can't debate me, and that's fine. But I mean, at least try to tackle my arguments in the chat. That's fine, I guess, because I'm inviting y'all up to debate. And once again, y'all kind of run away and sit there and be keyboard warriors. It's pathetic. It really is. But I mean, hey, you can continue to be pathetic. It ain't my life.
Educational system in the world, in the richest country, not a broken childcare system. We got workers out there making 14, 15 bucks an hour. People can't afford it. Our kids should not be 37th in the world in terms of reading and science and math. We should be first in the world.
I'm like, come on, guys. Like, you guys think I'm stupid. You guys think I'm an idiot. You guys think I'm misinformed, but you won't come up and debate me? It should be easy. It should be easy, but you can't do it because y'all know your arguments fall apart as soon as you guys hop on here. But it is what it is. Like I said, I mean, I can't really, I was trying to take y'all seriously, but it is what it is.
College education should be free. Vocational
take them
schools
seriously,
should
guys.
be free. And you know what? Maybe billionaires like Mr. Musk, who's worth $300-400 billion, maybe, just maybe, they should not be allowed to have that much money. We should have a tax system which says that Mr. Musk and his friends actually should pay more. Right now, they're paying less than truck drivers and nurses in terms of effective tax rates. So,
man, bro, where the real liberals at, bro? Where the real liberals that actually know how to debate? Because I got some real liberals that actually can debate. You guys just can't. I mean, that's why y'all making up excuses to not hop on the phone, not hop on the call in. I mean, y'all can make excuses all y'all want, but when a man literally offers you a line to come up and you're sitting there just going like, no, nobody wants to talk to you, then you're just admitting that you can't debate me. I mean, thank you for basically proving my point. I mean, and damn, you're almost solidifying everything I say is right if you can't come up here and debate me or give a source yourself. Like, hey, I'm a reasonable person. I'm not going to sit there and overtalk you. I'm going to let you speak. I'm literally going to give you a respectful debate, but the problem is with you Dems is that I guess you don't want a respectful debate. You just want to be able to sit there and be a keyboard warrior, which is fine. I mean, you could be a coward, but I mean, hey, people, that's all people will ever see you as.
Congress is MIA. Congress is MIA.
I know. I am trying to antagonize them to come up. I know. Who do you support in 2028 when Trump is gone? Honestly, I mean, I'm gonna have to see who the candidates are. I'm just not gonna throw my vote in with Vance because I don't think Vance all that good of a leader, to be quite honest with you. And he hasn't really had too long to show his leadership skills. So it's not just gonna be automatically with Vance. I'd have to see who else is on the Republican Party. Or the Democrats. You never know. The Democrats might change their ways by then. They might bring in a sensible Dem who actually can talk some sense. You never know.
While Trump is essentially declaring war and not really telling the American people on whom he's declaring war.
But shout out Sunel. Appreciate the support, my man. Appreciate that.
Well, correct. The Constitution says Congress gets to declare war and peace, and he does not have the legal authority to do this. But even beyond that, this is murder under both international and U.S. domestic law. If you have all of this proof, come show it in a court of law.
Actually,
that's what we do.
now somebody said I bet you'd voted for McRomney. No, I'd have voted for Obama. Why wouldn't I have voted for Obama? That man Obama was cooking. The man was basically MAGA back in the day, to be honest with you, bro. Obama was cooking back in the day. Like, what? Yeah, y'all don't know about Obeezy, bro. Y'all know about that boy Obeezy, how he was really coming. Okay, hold on. Let me stop playing around too much. But have y'all not seen any old speeches about Obama and how it lines up with, well, the MAGA values of today? Now, he went in and did some bullshit, of course. But let's be real. Back when Obama in 2008, when he had the black hair with the waves, hey, my man was pretty harsh on immigration. He was pretty strong on stopping China. He was pretty strong on a lot of things that Trump was talking about today. And if you don't believe me, I mean, shit, hear from the man himself. Shout out Obeezy. I mean, no, literally, I got the whole damn shirt on. So shout out Obeezy. I know, I got the MAGA hat with the Obama shirt on, man. You don't know who I am. All right, let's go. But let's hear Barack Obama pretty much agree with Trump.
Administration, the Bush administration, has done nothing to control the problem that we have. We've had 5 million undocumented workers come over the borders since George Bush took office. It has become an extraordinary problem. And the reason the American people are concerned is because they are seeing their own economic position slip away. And
that's crazy because when I say that, y'all say I'm being racist. Oh, you're just lazy. I mean, but Obama says that y'all was clapping y'all hands like seals, goddamn it. So, I mean, that's why I don't take y'all seriously, because I'm literally preaching what you guys, what y'all love Obama. I'm literally preaching what he used to say, and I'm an idiot. Really, when this man was saying the exact same thing I've been telling y'all for months now, honestly. But I'm an idiot though when Barack Obama basically agrees with me that yes, when you invite a whole bunch of illegals in here, it does undermine American citizens. But the Dems will sit here and say that, oh no, it doesn't. You're just lazy. You just hate illegals. You're racist. It's like, bro, really? Like, make that make sense. But let's listen to Obeezy again. Once again, proved how the Dems have lost their way.
Administration, the Bush administration, has done nothing to control the problem that we have. We've had 5 million undocumented workers come over the borders since George Bush took office. It has become an extraordinary problem. And the reason the American people are concerned is because they are seeing their own economic position slip away. And oftentimes, employers are exploiting these undocumented workers. They're not paying the minimum wage. They're not observing worker safety laws. And so what we have to...
Now, tell me, what's so different between Obama saying what Trump is saying? What's the difference besides the eloquence of it? Because Obama is definitely a way better speaker than Trump. Admit it, like, let's be real. He has a very good way of speaking. But what's the difference? What's the difference between the ideal of it? Nothing. They're both saying that, yeah, when you let in a whole bunch of illegals, it undermines American citizens, it drives down wages, and it takes jobs away from Americans. What's the fucking difference?
Do is create a comprehensive solution to the problem. Now, I have already stated that as president, I will make sure that we finally have the kind of border security that we need. That's step number one. Step number two is to take on employers. Right now, an employer has more of a chance of getting hit by lightning than
and these same employers that hire illegals to, you know, pretty much underpay them. You guys are in support of. Remember that. I mean, who's gonna pick the fruit, Set? I mean, that's pretty damn fucked up considering that these guys are pretty much getting paid under wages and living in substandard conditions, and you guys are okay with that, right? Because who's gonna pick the fruits? Because, hey, what? Because guess what? If you're an American citizen, they're not going to pay you no $8, $9 an hour to pick fruits for 12 hours a day. They're not doing that to you. As an American, they got to actually pay you. So that's the funny thing about a lot of these guys who support illegals. Because I mean, like, dog, you're going to hear a different tune from your politicians if we made all these guys legal, or because guess what? Now the corporate elites are going to want these guys out of here because they can't abuse them for, well, slave wages. You can't hit them with that no more if they're citizens. So y'all really don't know what side y'all standing on this, to be quite honest with you. It's like y'all think y'all want what's best for this people, but you also are okay with the corporate enslavement of these people. Strange, really strange. But all right, though, let's get into some ice.
For impediment.
Shout out to Ice Big. All right, let's get into it.
Tom Homan, White House border czar, has been watching all of this very closely, and he's here with us now. Tom, the language
Obama was shit
to me that they're using is very clear.
Like,
it's beyond resist. It's beyond First Amendment protected speech. That's all fine. This is actively impeding and threatening law enforcement agents. They're not the only ones who have guns and all that language.
Well, look, I've never seen anything like this. I started back in 1984. I've been doing this a long time. And look, you know, that's why we're working very closely with the Department of Justice. We have increased prosecutions for impediment tenfold. I looked at the numbers the other day. We got the highest number of prosecutions for interference and impediment than I've ever seen. Attacks on ICE officers, as you know, it's up over 1,000%. And this rhetoric is just, if this rhetoric doesn't stop, I said this back in March when the rhetoric was rising. I said, if this rhetoric doesn't slow down, someone's going to die. And the left went crazy that I would say something like that. Well, they have. Unfortunately, I was right. We had a shooter die attacking the Border Patrol facility. We had an officer shot when people attacked an ICE detention facility. We had a sniper attack a Dallas facility and killed a couple of detainees. We've had several shootings in the last week. And it's not going to stop unless the rhetoric goes away. So when the congressman says he's going to prosecute people, hold people accountable, hold them accountable for what? For enforcing the laws that you enacted? If Congress, if ICE are racist and terrorists for enforcing the law, What's that make them? They wrote the law. We're doing exactly what Congress wrote with the laws they enacted that was signed by the president and that were appropriated with funding to do. ICE is doing their job, and they're not going to stop doing their job.
Yeah, and Tom, every individual that was arrested in Chinatown and in New York yesterday, each and every one of them was a deportable alien. They had multiple, most of them had multiple criminal prosecutions. It wasn't just counterfeit goods. It was sometimes it was assault. It was leaving the scene of a crime. I mean, we went on and on and on. Well, we didn't go through each of them because I'd be here all night. But every single person had committed other crimes and was an illegal alien living in the United States. But none of that matters. If Americans have to suffer for their open borders nirvana, they believe Americans have to suffer. And I really think it's because they think Americans need to be
Hey, everybody's getting it across the boards. Asians, Hispanics, blacks, don't matter. If you're here illegally, you are out of here.
punished.
Hey, fair is fair.
Well, look, intellectual property theft is something ICE has been working with for decades. These fake goods are selling. It hurts an American employer, American manufacturers, and American employees. So we're going to force the laws. But you're right. They all had some sort of criminal history. And let's be truthful and get the facts straight, because the left is lying about this. I look at the data every morning on the way to work. 22 pages of data. Approximately 70% of everybody ICE arrests is a criminal. Bottom line, data shows it. Who are the other 30%? National security threats. Most national security threats don't have criminal history because they're laying low to do the dirty deed. And fugitives, those who had due process at great taxpayer expense and were ordered removed by a federal judge but didn't leave and become a fugitive. We're looking for them too. Because the message we're not going to send to the whole world, enter the country illegally, it's a crime, don't worry about it. Have due process, get order removed by judge, don't worry about it. No, we're sending a message to the whole world, there are consequences.
Tom, there's also now, they've launched something called...
I mean, yes, if you come over here illegally without proper documentation, you will get sent up out of here. And this is not, we're not under Dems no more, where they sit there and put you in a sanctuary city, a nice comfy hotel with an EBT card. We're not doing that no more. That's dead. You guys get to go home.
An anti-ICE tracker. Have you seen that too?
Oh, yeah, they finally took that app off the Apple Store, where there was an anti-ICE tracker, pretty much able to track ICE activities, and it was actually being used to set up ICE agents, which is absolutely terrible. I don't even know why they even let it on there for a week.
That's a new thing, apparently. We'll put it up on the screen. But this is apparently another tool they're going to use to try to thwart ICE. An anti-ICE tracker that's going to be, I guess, an app that you can download, and you can use that in order to get involved in these radical resistance movements. At some point, doesn't the DOJ have to step in? I mean, isn't this one big RICO action in some way, shape, or form? Seems like it to me.
They're all, Laura, they're all over this. They're all over this. Now they're looking at, impediment charges, looking at who's funding this stuff, right? Because I'm telling you, it's a matter of time. And I hate saying this, but I'm going to say it because I truly believe it's a matter of time before an ICE agent's ambushed and killed. Because we're letting people know where enforcement activities are occurring. And they're looking for the worst of the worst. The last thing we want to do is give a bad guy, the worst of the worst, a heads up that ICE is down the street. This is going to get an officer killed. I go to bed every night, and I pray for every man and woman of ICE and Border Patrol to go home safe to their families. I buried too many ICE agents in my career, and Border Patrol agents. This has to stop. So Pam Bonnie's all over this. I know DOJ's all over this. We'll hold people accountable. This cannot happen. It's disgusting. I can't believe what's going on in this nation today. I wake up every morning in disbelief that people want to call the law enforcement officers the bad guys and the criminal public safety threats the victims. It's ridiculous. It's all upside down. But we're going to keep doing this job and keep President Trump's promise to American people.
I mean, that's what the Dems love to do is, victimize criminals. Yes, the guys who are making other people's victims, they love to make those guys victims. So, I mean, hey, they'll make a killer a victim somehow, some way. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They just love victimizing the criminals. It doesn't even make sense, but this is why there's high crime. Well, I'm being real, just one of the many reasons why there's high crime in liberal cities or Democrat-ran cities. And I always just say, you guys want to bring up red states? I mean, we could play that game. Like, all right, guys, what's your favorite red state that you want to bring up that has high crime? And I will show you the facts that the most high crime area every single time is ran by a Democrat. I mean, give me your favorite one. We could do Tennessee, and I'll give you Memphis, that's ran by a black Democrat every single time. You could say Ohio, and I'll sit and I'll give you Cleveland, which is ran by a black Democrat, high crime, highest crime in Ohio. So, I mean, that's just, I don't know what it is though, but it does seem like every time a Democrat get in, in control of a city, it falls into high crime.
Make this country safe again.
They're punishing Americans and protecting criminals. They should put that on a bumper sticker. Tom, as always, thank you very much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe.
But all right, let's go ahead and get into, let's see, John Fetterman. I refuse to be a part of this. See, shout out to a sensible Dem. Let's get over to a more sensible Dem, because I'm tired of hearing these radicals, who don't really have an argument. But I mean, the argument is I hate Trump. So let's not do anything he wants. And sadly, that's not going to work out for you guys too much longer. It's like, you think that's going to win you the midterms? Oh man, you guys are going to be hurt come 2026.
Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman is with us. Senator, thank you for being with us. I know a lot of Democrats don't want to come on this show. I'll be respectful. I've had the opportunity to meet with you and have, very civil conversations and friendly and actually fun, to be very honest. And we appreciate you being here.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me on, Sean. It's a pleasure to have this conversation. Absolutely.
I want to start with this issue because if you go back to the end of the 24 campaign, the closing argument to me was Nazi, fascist, racist, Hitler, Stalin, Mussolini. I don't think it worked out well for the Democrats. And you actually said if you're looking for a Democrat, and this is what you said, that's going to call people Nazis, fascists, all these kinds of things, I'm not going to be that guy. Okay. I admire you for saying that. I'm not going to be the guy, saying those things about the left either, because, I mean, those are the worst adjectives you can use. But you've made a decision not to, but your party is going in the other direction. And they're saying it with regularity, and I'll play more tape later in the show today about it. What is going on? Why have they chosen that path when it didn't succeed?
All right, somebody said Mississippi, right? Which is actually, that's not too bad of a choice. That's because, what was it? Jackson, Mississippi is actually one of the highest crime areas in America. In Jackson, Mississippi, which is the highest crime area in Mississippi and in the United States, is one of the top 5. So you want to know who Jackson, Mississippi has been ran by? Mostly black Dems. Black Dem, black Dem, black Dem, black Dem, black Dem, black Dem, black Dem. And it's been one of the highest crime cities for years. So I mean, shoot, I wonder how far I can go back. Oh, here he is. Here it is. It might be a Republican. What's this? Who was he? Mississippi. He was born in. No, all right. I mean, let's be real. Y'all ain't been ran by a white man since the 90s. After that early 2000s, y'all had nothing but black leadership. It went completely down the drain. Jackson, Mississippi. I mean, shoot, I need to bring up hey, like I said, bro, bring me your favorite red state and I'll give you the city with the highest crime and watch it be ran by a Democrat. Every single time. I love the game, though. It is fun.
The first time.
I don't know why, and I've always refused to say that. And when then the Vice President Harris referred to President Trump as a fascist, and I knew absolutely we lost the plot at that point. If you call the president or someone like a fascist, you're effectively calling the people that are going to vote for him, and then they must be fascist too, or they support fascism and those things, and that's just not true. That's just not it. I happen to know, and I love a lot of people that voted for the president, and they're not fascists, they're not Nazis, they're not trying to destroy the Constitution and all those things. They just happen to have a different priorities, and they love our country in the same ways that Democrats do as well. So I refuse to do those kinds of a thing, because that kind of extreme kinds of rhetoric makes it easier for those kinds of extreme kinds of actions, even like what happened to poor Charlie Kirk and that. And now why you can't allow people to grieve and now use that an opportunity to criticize or to turn it into something. It's like, that's just basic humanity there. And like, we're forgetting that we need each other. We need each other here. And now I refuse to be a part of it and comparing people to Hitler and those things, because that's If that's what's required to win, then I refuse to.
You just heard a Democratic colleague's family will suffer, but we need the leverage. Wow, that's a pretty impactful statement to me. Your thoughts?
Yo, you listen to that TikTok beta? Callus, really? You listen to this TikTok beta? Oh, wow. Wow. Get it, John Parker. Okay, I know who this guy is. Oh, this is the guy that's the atheist that be trying to debate Charlie Kirk all the time. Is that the guy? Looks like him. But yeah, sure, I'll debate him sometime. Why not? Let's see. Because I'm be honest with you, I'm up to debate anybody. But why not? I mean, dog, hold on. You're asking him to debate me, but why don't you debate me then? I mean, why are you asking me to debate somebody else if this is where you get your ideas from? Are you not confident in what he tells you? To spew it right here in front of me. Aren't you not confident in what he's telling you? I don't know. I mean, hey, usually when people's confident about what they're being told, they want to come up here and debate it. But hey, it is what it is.
I mean, like I just said that, I just put that in my social. Like 2 million Pennsylvanians depend on SNAP to helping feed themselves and their family. 2 million. And now that's going to be suspended because our government is shut down. I can't ever vote for that kinds of mass food insecurity like that. And now I'm going to be a county, I'm a country over party guy. I'm always going to vote to pay our military over the party. I'm always going to vote to pay the Capitol Police here versus over the party. I mean, I'm always going to vote country over my party.
All right. I mean, no, I haven't. You comment on my. I mean, dog. I'm sorry, bro. You have not bought legit points, Callus. I'm asking you to come up, and you've kind of been a keyboard warrior the whole time. It sucks. I mean, it sucks. It sucks that you got to point to somebody else for your own ideas. Like, do you not think for yourself, bro? No, really, bro, because you just admitted that you don't think for yourself because you're pointing me in another direction for somebody to debate for you. I'm not pointing you in another direction. I'm not telling you to go debate this guy, that guy, and the third. I'm telling you to debate me and my ideas because I want to debate you and your ideas, not somebody else's. Like, dog, you just literally showed us how you're not really a free thinker, and you literally go along with, I'm be real with you, self-confirming biases. Thank you for grilling yourself. But all right, though. I mean, please, somebody come up and debate. And usually I don't even open up the call-in line like this, but hey, I got time today. I got a little bit of time. I want to take y'all on. I got about 25 more minutes. So please, shout out Daniel Castro. What's up, brother? Getting ready for my first pro event. Really? Hey, shout out. I know you be doing football frisbee or something like that, or pro event for what? Let me know. But shout out my man Daniel Castro.
And if I pay a price within my base, that's something I'm willing to do because I happen to believe it's very true. And that's what's honest where we are right now. It's wrong to shut our government down, and that's going to impact millions of Americans. And I do believe Leader Thune is an honorable man. And I do believe that we can have significant and important conversations to negotiate to extend those tax credits. And I do hope we're able to do these things. So for me, it's a core responsibility here as a senator to keep our government open. And I'm never going to vote to shut our government down. And I don't care if it's the Republicans or Democrats, whatever, it's wrong.
How do you interpret Chuck Schumer, when we've played montages on this program of him over the course of his entire career speaking out against a government shutdown?
I mean, Callus, I ain't gonna lie, bro. That was truly pathetic how you want to hide behind somebody else's debate tactics or somebody else's ideas. Like, do you not have your own? Like really? And that's a real question. Like, do you not have your own? Like, your own thought? Like, you telling me that I gotta go to this guy right here to get your opinion on everything? Damn, that's pathetic. But you know what, guys? I guess I could spend the last 20 minutes on geopolitical stuff because I've been trying to get into this for a minute. But let's get into this Israeli settlements. All right, because I've been talking about this for a while, and a lot of people be thinking I'm bullshitting you. But yes, Israel is trying to settle in the West Bank and trying to kick the Palestinians out of there. So let's get into that.
Over is the olive harvest season for Palestinians in the occupied West Bank, but Israeli settler attacks have been increasing, scaring farmers and much, much more. Let's take a look at what has happened in just a single week here. Between October the 7th and the 13th, Israeli settlers carried out at least 71 attacks against Palestinians. At least one was killed and a further 99 were injured. Half of the assaults targeted olive harvests, a crucial source of income for Palestinian families, affecting some 27 villages. Israeli settlers dug up more than 1,400 fully grown olive trees and saplings. And in the past 5 harvest seasons, settler attacks have...
I mean, bro, then come... All right, bro, come up here and debate me then. I mean, dog, all right, cool. You're going to get here. You're going to sit here and get cooked by somebody with bad grammar then. I mean, I'm not sure what that's going to do for you, but sure, you can come here. You can come up here and get cooked by somebody who has the most terrible grammar in the world. Why not? Why not? I mean, sure, I'll just play right into it at this point. Please, please come up here and get cooked by somebody who has the most terrible grammar and then give me and tell me why you think your ideas are better than mine. I mean, I'm just letting you know. I don't want people to think you're dumb because of your grammar. Nigga, I'm my own fucking person. That's the problem with you guys. You guys want to put on a face for people to make you think that you're smart. I don't care. I'm going to talk how I want to. I'm a college educated guy. I already got a degree in information science. I was on the Honor Society. I don't need to prove shit to you guys. I don't have to talk no certain way. I already proved that to myself. Maybe you got to wear a mask and do all that because you never accomplished anything, but I got accolades, my friend. I don't need to sit here and be all distinguished and use all the long words in the world for you. It's like, dog, I'm going to be myself because that's what people actually want. They don't want to sit there and act like somebody's talking above them. I'm trying to meet you eye level here.
Urged. With more than 200 incidents recorded last year, and that's almost double the number recorded in 2023 and 3 times higher than the figure for 2022. Nida Ibrahim reports.
Oh, come on, don't hit her! Hey!
Don't hit her, he yells.
Hey!
But the man does.
Hey!
This is an Israeli settler beating Palestinian farmers in the occupied West Bank village of Tormosai.
Hey! Hey!
An American journalist filmed the attack, documenting what has become a daily horror during the olive harvest season. 53-year-old Afaf Abu Alayya suffered a brain hemorrhage from the assault. This scene repeats itself, one village at a time. Israeli settlers storming Palestinian land, usually armed. They're emboldened by Israeli forces who often allow them to carry out their assaults.
Got a job in
For
tech,
years,
okay.
settlers have attacked during the harvest.
I mean, I got a useless degree, but I got a job in tech. I mean, okay. I mean, that's what I got it for, was for tech. But all right. I mean, shoot, got certificate. Hey, it is what it is, though. It is what it is. Like I said, I mean, I actually named what I got. Y'all over here talk about, I just got 2 degrees. Name them. Name them. Because other than that, you're just being a keyboard warrior on somebody who's willing to say something. Man, he talking to me, said, because I said you're not. I said you're not your. Oh, my bad, Chase. All right, then I'll let you go ahead and grill him, man. I'll let you go ahead and grill this guy. It's like, it is what it is. I mean, hey, like I said, none of these guys wanted to come up and debate, though. That's what the sad thing is. It's like, I literally, and I'll be real with you. I guess I'm dropping professionalism for a little bit on this, but why not? Why not? I mean, I still got some guy in the chat talking about, oh, go debate some guy. This is where I get all my ideas from, so go debate him. And then he doesn't realize how pathetic he sounds saying that. Like, I could never imagine saying, well, go listen to Trump. That's where all my ideas come from. What? What, bro? If you 100% agree with anybody, you need to get your head checked. I mean, shout out Monty for saying that one.
Season in the occupied West Bank. Now, they're more organized, more systematic. Barely a harvesting journey goes by without a settler attack. They torch vehicles, beat farmers, destroy the fruit and the trees, sometimes steal.
The attack started with around 10 settlers, but more kept joining. I think by the end there were 40 protected by the army. We were outnumbered, we couldn't defend ourselves.
International activists who come to help are not spared either. This year, Palestinians renewed the call for activists to join their harvest, hoping for some protection and to expose the violence. And that's why Israel is deporting them, they say. Israeli forces accuse 30 activists assisting Palestinian farmers in Burin near Nablus of working in a closed military zone, an accusation the activists deny. For Palestinians, the message is clear: leave or face further violence.
Every year they come and they burn it or, take it out from the roots, like maybe at least like 5 years in a row. That's what they did. And finally, they took the land and they put their settlers in it.
Olives mean income, but for Palestinians, this isn't just about the trees. It's about the land itself. Despite the beatings, the arson, the threats, many have returned to their groves. Because not harvesting means surrendering their land. And that's exactly what the settlers want. Nida Ibrahim, Al Jazeera.
Joining us from northern Ramallah in the occupied West Bank is Jesper Nathaniel. He's an independent journalist and writer of the Infinite Jazz newsletter on Substack. Now, in need of...
At least I now know about the Israeli settlements, but you know what? I mean, I might as well play into this a little bit. I might as well play into this and hear this guy's ideas out. I mean, I've heard this guy so many times before, but I mean, it is what it is. It's kind of crazy how the left can't really speak for themselves. Like, that's like wild. Yep. Let's go here.
Really? So what's market equilibrium?
Say what you're going to say.
What's market equilibrium?
Market equilibrium. I guess just the equilibrium point where the market is.
Yeah, and what is that?
I don't know. Market
supply.
For what? Like, I it's a very vague term. Market equilibrium.
No, it's
you mean
not.
like.
I mean, you're an economics major, okay? You should easily know what market equilibrium is. I mean, I learned this in high school before I was an economics major.
Yeah, I'm guessing you're referring to like supply, demand, and supply.
Yeah, it's the intersection between supply and demand.
Yes, I'm about to say, like, dog, it's where the price and the supply meet, right in the middle of the X. When you do your supply and demand chart, the equilibrium, of course, your demand is going that way. Well, no, your demand is going this way, your supply is going that way, and the equilibrium is where the two X's meet in your supply and demand model. That's market equilibrium. I can damn near write it down for you. So I'm kind of surprised he didn't know that. So he kind of did call him out on market equilibrium. I'll give him that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't really sound like you're an econ major, or maybe you forgot it all.
Maybe.
Okay. So can you tell me what a tariff is?
A what?
What's a tariff?
A tariff? I guess when goods come in, the importer has to pay a certain amount, a tax.
Yeah, and it's passed on to the American consumer because it's an aspect of cost of production and distribution, meaning it's going to regressively negatively impact low and middle income individuals.
Wrong. No, it's not a direct pass down to consumer. That is mainly based on the saturation of the market, mainly competition. So you can't just sit there and say that tariff is a straight pass on to the consumer without stating what sector or industry we're talking about. If we're talking about something like clothing, tariffs are most likely going to get eaten by the supplier, and they're going to cut their prices because there's a lot of competition in clothing. And if they raise their prices, they're more likely to lose out, because when you raise price, you can also lose out on demand. So that's also a problem if you're in a highly saturated market. So those who talk like him, who don't really know about competition, and he's try to make tariffs seem like a straightforward tax on the American people, completely wrong. Tariff is a tax on imported goods, but let's also correct this when we say, all right, cool. Well, if a clothing company send me imported goods and it got a 30% tax, and I make a deal and I'm like, look, it's either you cut this by 30% or I go somewhere else, or you cut it by 15 and I'll go ahead and take it to the profit margin by 15 because I can't afford to raise my prices because there's too much competition in my market. To sit there and say that tariff just go directly to the consumer without even stating that, oh, well, it's based on competition is completely wrong, and it does mislead people about tariffs. But I mean, hey, at least he knows what market equilibrium is.
Their taxes, right?
And that's it.
Yes, because we've seen inflation.
Oh no, you can't debate him. That's what I'm saying. You Dems don't debate, bro. You Dems don't debate. Like, dog. He hasn't released a link or anything. You Dems don't debate. Here it is, whole chat right here. Actually, some of y'all get mad at me for trying to, for making y'all pay for super chats, so for questions and comments. Look what this guy's doing right here. Right here. Support me. Ain't that crazy? But I'll catch heat though. So no, I mean, he don't even have a StreamYard link. Look, hold on, bro. You know what? Let's see. Not even in the bro. It's not even in the bro. What? Not even the details. Not in the details either. So he has no stream link, but I'm supposed to debate him. I mean, I think he already has a debate set out, bro. I think he already has this debate set out. Like, him and bro must have planned this already.
Increase since Trump got in office.
Yeah, it's nothing, right? It really hasn't done anything. That's why the stock market didn't.
We've seen it go from 2.3% to 2.9%, and actually the estimates for right now, because the government shut down, is 3.1%.
What's 2.3%? You mean
it was 2.3% in April?
You talking about inflation? Because inflation's at a 2.9%. It's not cracked over that 3% yet. So he would be wrong about that one. I mean, you can Google that and they'll tell you like what is their current inflation, and they'll tell you like 2.92. So we're cracking. I'm not gonna say that we're not. He's saying 3.1. We have not cracked over that 3%.
What was? I don't know.
Inflation.
2.3. Okay. And so, what does that mean?
That means we've seen a trend up of inflation since Trump has implemented tariffs.
That's nothing too, that's what I was trying to say before. That's like almost nothing, right?
Well, I would say this. We've seen a trend up in inflation. Nah, we've seen inflation cool. We've seen the rapid increase of inflation cool under Trump because it was skyrocketing under Biden. So if we're going up by 0.1, 0.2, it's way better than going up by 2, 3, 4, 5% that we were doing under Biden. So Trump has actually got inflation to cool down. I mean, and y'all was okay with it running rapid under Biden. But okay, though. Go ahead, Cook.
That is definitely an increase in inflation, and that's exactly what Jerome Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, indicated. The chairman of the Fed.
Inflation?
What's that?
The last couple of years? What caused inflation in the last couple of years?
It was global inflation, supply chain issues relating to the pandemic.
No, it was increased spending into the money market. I mean, if you know anything, you know about the monetary too. Since you're an econ major, you should know about the monetary supply and how that also adds into inflation. When you increase the monetary supply by however much, if you increase the monetary supply by 25%, guess what? Price is going to go up by 25% of assets and across the board. It's just like a common pattern in economics. So what are you talking about? It's like you're trying to obfuscate from the fact that, yes, the Biden administration did increase spending, which made the situation even worse because Trump already did some crazy spending. The fact that Biden came in and did something too made it even worse.
Okay, and if that's the case, then why was there inflation when the pandemic was happening?
Because the supply chain issues take time to compound.
Bro,
so how long does that take?
That wasn't supply chains issue, bro. That was because there was too much money added into the market. Like a lot of our currency right now was made in 2020. A good amount of it. I think like over 60% of it. That's what caused that crazy inflation. What are you saying? Like you trying to say, oh, global supply chains plummeted. No. That had nothing to do with the rapid inflation under Biden.
There was supply chain issues, right away.
There's supply chain issues in other countries, and they didn't have as bad as inflation as we did.
Do you think Biden caused global inflation?
And here's the thing, I'm being fair. I'm taking into account the money that Trump spent and Biden spent in total that caused that rapid inflation. We put too much money into the money supply, and I'm putting it on both sides. I'm being fair about this. This guy's not even being fair by saying, yo, okay, look, yeah, Biden put hella money into the money supply, but so did Trump. He could at least be honest and say that.
I don't know if he caused global inflation, but he definitely caused the inflation in the U.S., yes.
And how do you do that?
His fiscal spending, it definitely triggered it, and you can look at the graph.
Trump signed off on $4 trillion more debt-related spending than the Biden-Harris administration. So if you're saying
yeah, because at the beginning of COVID.
Well, then that fiscal spending would have been a greater issue.
I know, and that's why Biden really had no reason to overspend like that because Trump already handled the crux of the spending under COVID. Like he had to spend the most because it was at the beginning of COVID. Biden, that it was cooling off, decided to do that crazy spending, which honestly didn't make too much sense. And there was a lot of people that was against it, telling Biden that this was going to cause crazy inflation. And then you try to do the Inflation Reductionary Act, and that didn't help at all either. It was just more spending into climate change. So let's just keep it real.
Under the Trump administration comparative to... Listen, did you hear what I just said? Hey, man. Hey, man, I'm trying to have a productive dialogue with you, and you're honestly not doing that right now. Okay?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, Trump signed off on...
I'm just saying that the stuff that you're saying really doesn't make sense, and you really
because
don't
you're
know
cutting
what
me
you're
off and not listening to it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So Donald Trump signed off on $4 trillion more debt-related spending, according to the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget, which is a bipartisan committee from the federal government, which overlooked the debt-related spending signed into law by both administrations, indicating that Trump signed off on $4 trillion more comparative to the Biden-Harris administration.
Okay.
$3.4 trillion overall.
No, it's not 3.1. Core inflation is at whatchamacallit, 2.9%. And I mean, you can get this over here from Google. Inflation rate today is October 23rd, 2025. The latest available annual inflation rate for the United States is at 2.9 for the 12-month period. I mean, but hey, though, people don't like to listen. So what he said about 3.1, I mean, that's false. I mean, he's, well, like what, 2 points off? Well, it's not like it couldn't be like that. Being fair to him, it's not like it can't be like that next month, but it's not like that now. So to sit here and say that is 3.1, that is false.
4.8 trillion non-COVID related, comparative to the Biden-Harris administration, 4.3 trillion overall, 2.2 trillion non-COVID related.
Shout out to my man Daniel Castro. He says, "Whoop, disc golf, step up to this pro level tomorrow." I mean, hey, you know what? If it's on TV, I'll watch it. If it's on TV, I'll watch it. Or you got to record it, man. Drop it in Discord. He got a graph from MSNBC. Must be right. Yeah, but I don't know why. The way this man is debating is you could tell he's trying too hard just to be against Trump. He's like, he's not really being fair. Because you can blame both sides in this, bro. It's okay.
Yeah, and so did Biden, right?
But who was that guy that told me to debate this man, even though he does not have no link to debate? He didn't drop, bro. He not even like me. Damn, I at least dropped the Discord, not the Discord, but I at least dropped the StreamYard link. This man didn't even do that.
Did you hear anything I just said? Can you repeat what I just said?
You just basically said that he signed, like, he spent a lot of money, right?
Yeah, he did a lot of spending.
Trump signed off on $4 trillion more debt-related spending than the Biden-Harris administration.
How much did Biden get?
Debt-related? No, I don't know if you could say that, buddy. You could say that it's toward, because then what about the same thing towards Biden? Both of it was for COVID, and it caused high inflation. Now, as far as the debt goes, both of them was somewhat running deficits. Biden was running major deficits. Trump, he was running deficits as well, but it wasn't as bad as Biden. So let's just be honest here. Like, who is handling money better? And it would have to be Trump. Now, due to the fact that the pandemic popped off, I will give grace to both of them. But let's not sit here and pretend that, bro, it's tariffs that inflation went up. It's like, no, you're wrong. It was definitely increasing the monetary supply.
And then when he did that, did the inflation ever happen?
Okay. Biden signed off on 4.3 trillion overall debt-related spending, 2.2 trillion non-COVID related. Comparative to the Trump administration, the Trump administration, listen, the Trump administration did 8.
Biden signed a lot more too. You've been
Let him
talking this
finish.
entire time, so I don't know why you're frustrated.
I mean, bro, come on. You do gotta let bro finish his point, though. You gotta let the bro finish. Let him good.
Go ahead.
You're not listening, bro. Dude, I'm telling you, I literally told you the level of debt-related spending signed into law by Biden and Trump, and they keep talking over. You can't stop.
Your econ degree, I don't even know what school you went to, but you really don't know how econ works.
I mean, come on, bro. You couldn't tell him what a market equilibrium is. Even I answered it before you, and I was caught off guard by it too.
Really, you didn't know what market equilibrium was?
Like, come on, bro.
I don't want to hear it.
Go look at BLS graphs.
Okay,
Inflation didn't happen until Biden's fiscal spending started kicking in.
That's ridiculous for you to assume that it's because of Biden. So listen to this.
Yeah, I mean it is. Like you just can't say all of it's Biden. Like it's Biden and Trump at the same time. It's like it's both of them. So you just can't sit there and throw it all on Biden. I will say that.
Look at it. Go look at the BLS numbers.
Hey, listen to me real quick. Please, like I genuinely, I'm trying to explain it to you right now. I'm trying to have a productive dialogue, but you're not listening. I really want you to hear this point because this point's the most relevant point. According to the committee for Responsible Federal Budget, a bipartisan committee from the federal government, Joe Biden signed off on $4.3 trillion overall of debt-related spending, $2.2 trillion non-COVID related. Comparative to the Trump administration, $8.4 trillion overall, $4.8 trillion non-COVID related. So Trump signed off on over $4 trillion more.
Yeah, but that kind of goes into Biden's irresponsibility of the budget or of spending, because think about it like this. If I'm being sensible and I just know that the president just increased a whole lot of money into the money supply, I'm being honest with you, it just isn't a good idea for me to do any big spending bills without causing major inflation. I'd have to be real with the people. And that's the problem. Biden wasn't being real with the people. He should have sat there and said, like, look, if I do this spending, if I give you guys what you guys want, there's going to be crazy amount of inflation down the line. And he didn't want to, and he was just honestly trying to please the people. And I get it, but it ended up causing crazy inflation because Trump just got done doing crazy spending. Why would you come in and do the same damn thing? I mean, I would hope he had the economic understanding of, yo, you're increasing money in the supply. You're increasing the monetary supply. That's going to cause wild inflation, dog. And it's going to hit you soon. And then all through 2020, 2021, and 2022, that's exactly what happened. And of course, in the summer of 2024, I mean, things got really bad.
Debt-related spending comparative to the Biden-Harris administration.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think that was even pandemic related. He spent that money before the pandemic happened, right? Yes or no?
I said 4.8 trillion was non-COVID related. There was a lot that was spent after COVID, but a lot of it was non-COVID related.
And then the inflation really kicked in, right?
Well, that would have an impact on inflation. I don't think that's the main impact on inflation, but I do think that that had an impact.
It didn't at all. When did inflation start kicking in?
It actually takes years for these different types of spending mechanisms to cause that level of inflation.
It happens immediately.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. When Obama, so this is what, like,
when
did they start
at least
printing
about
money?
a year or two.
The Fed.
The printing money is under the Federal Reserve. Most of that happened under the Trump administration.
No.
Yes, it did. If you look at M1 and M2, it mostly increased under the Trump administration.
Go look at it.
I already did.
All right, then. Oh, okay.
Well,
if you look at the graph and you see the spike in M2 under Biden, are you going to apologize?
I've already looked at M2. It's a spike under Trump.
Well, actually, I mean, honestly, no, it spiked it under both of them. So like I said, it's like both of them added money to the supply. And here's the thing, though. It's kind of crazy how the Dems can complain about core inflation. I always just say it's like, I don't know. Y'all not really good at bringing up stats like that. Because let's say this. Core inflation is like what? All right, let's say 3.1. Let's say it is, right? You know, core inflation, what it was in like what last year in September? 3.3, and then it was 3.3 again in October. Then it was 3.3 again in November. It was 3 straight months of core inflation being at 3.3. And then again in January. And then, of course, we get down to 3.1 and you guys are complaining? Like, really think about this. You guys are hanging about at 3.3 inflation at the end of the year want to complain about 3.1 when you guys are all the way skyrocketing at 3.3. In a way, and let's be honest, yes, that's an improvement from what you guys were giving us last year. Let's be honest.
I think it went up around 2,000 under Biden.
You're going to apologize on air, right?
Yeah. And will you apologize on air if you're wrong?
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't do this every day, but I'm just going off off of memory.
Okay. All right, go ahead and look it up. Jocelyn, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10. Thank you. What's up?
Okay. They've been printing money like crazy, all right? The first time, when they really printed money during not Obama. Well, yeah, Obama, when the Great Recession happened, the Fed was like kind of alarmed that because it did nothing to inflation. It stayed rock steady. Inflation has been rock steady for decades, even though they've been printing money like crazy.
Because we would have likely seen in like deflationary pressure at that time. So here's kind of my point in terms of what we've seen is that if we increase money supply, but there's also an increase in productive services to associate with that increase in money supply, well then there's not going to be an increase in prices. That's my particular position. So if it is the case that we're increasing money supply to actually like the resources and the capacities that we have for supplying things.
How much did money supply increase from 2000 to now?
Oh my God, dude.
I would say this. I mean, I think what he's trying to get to that if we increase the money supply to create products and services, then it's not going to be inflationary. But if we actually increase the money supply to buy for consumer spending, which is exactly what we did, then yeah, that's going to cause rapid inflation.
Can't even have a conversation with you. I'm about to kick you and go to the next person. You're a waste of time to talk to.
How much did the inflation go up from 2000 till now?
I don't know the
cumulative
inflation rate.
How much did the money supply go from up 2000 till now?
I would have to look.
It went up 10 times. We didn't see any inflation, did we?
We have seen inflation since 2000.
We did.
Yes, we have.
Go look at the graph.
So if your argument now is that money supply doesn't increase inflation, that fiscal spending doesn't increase inflation, why was that your argument as to why Biden caused inflation?
Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense.
Because money pools in the economy, it depends on where the money is. And if money is in like people's hands, that's when inflation happens. But
no, that's actually wrong, my friend. When money is used for consumer spending, when we pump a bunch of money into the monetary supply, and it's used for consumer spending, that is going to increase inflation. But if we use it to create goods and services, factories and all that good stuff, or places to work, new products, then that's not going to cause inflation. So yes, it does depend on how the money is spent. Which on both sides, it was spent poorly. Well, no, actually on Biden's side, it was spent more poorly. He had less of a reason to do like $1 trillion packages.
Most of the open market mechanisms and the operations of the Fed.
So Trump signed off on more debt-related spending, therefore he caused more inflation, correct?
Actually, inflation does occur, but
all right, though. I guess I'm going to close it down on this one. All right. I had my fun. Man, I swear, you Dems are no fun sometimes, man. No fun. I'd invited way too much y'all up here in debate. Y'all ran. And then this guy, I mean, like I said, I don't know what cue he got going on, but let me see here. Maybe I'm missing something, guys. Maybe it's a StreamYard that I'm missing. Maybe it's a number. It is what it is. But I ain't gonna lie, though. This caller is low IQ, though. He's low-key cooking this caller. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that any guy that goes against a liberal's right. Like, that's just ridiculous. Like, but I'm pretty sure the right conservative can grill his ass on it. I mean, because he was wrong about a lot of things. And then, of course, on inflation, if he want to sit there and get mad about 3.1, I'd have to ask him. Dog, wouldn't that be? Aren't you pretty much admitting that Trump is kind of handling inflation better? Since for 3 months straight, we're at like what? You guys were at 3.3? Well, actually, my bad. No, my bad. For 2 months straight, you were at 3.3. Then you got back down to 3.1 or 2, and then you skyrocketed back to 3.3. Are you sure you want to sit there and say that Biden handled it better? Are you sure that's a sound argument? Who knows? Who knows with these guys? All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get up out of here on that one. It shows you have what? It's heavily biased. Oh, man. He's like, you literally just watched a trumpet get lit up because he didn't have facts, but kept blaming the Democrats. I mean, bro, what you mean? See, that's what I'm saying. Y'all don't even listen. Y'all don't listen. I literally sat there and blamed Republicans multiple times. Y'all don't listen. That's what I'm saying. That's why I would grill you guys in a debate. Like, just like this guy, because you do the same thing this MAGA guy is doing. Like, to be honest, you guys like to think that you're better than these MAGA guys who honestly, and I'm gonna be real with you guys. Most of MAGA, pretty cool people. But let's be real. This guy, he's not a good debater. He's not. But to sit there and like say that, oh, well, like this is exactly what you guys do, bro, that's what you do right now. That's literally what you guys do right now, dog. You guys get lit up by the facts, by me. And you guys will continuously blame the Republicans. Just like, oh, but the Republicans. And I'll sit there and agree with you guys. But okay, yeah. But that still goes into my point of why the Dems are doing so bad. And you guys can't handle those facts. Like, you're literally doing what the MAGA guy is doing. He's literally saying like, oh yeah, but Biden did this, Biden did that. Okay, yeah, but Trump contributed as well. So he is leaning more into that man's point, just like you are leaning into my point. It's like, dog, you can't act like you're better than somebody when you're stooping to the same level as them. Like, it's kind of sad, but it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. All right, guys, I gotta head up out of here, man. It's been fun. It's been too fun, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and leave out with the music. I will catch you guys later on tonight. Probably back here around that 2 a.m. time, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. All right, guys, make sure you guys double tap the screen and like the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. This is S.E.T Media, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.